how's it going? What's new?
Just holding a skull and a baby doll head. Creepy baby doll head. It's nothing really new, just enjoying life, the simple treasures.
Huh.
Kind of taking a vow of silence, and I don't want to break it with a podcast or anything.
All right, let me just tweet about it. We are already live, so you can put on the funnies. Oh, I could just retweet
All right,
you.
everyone, it's me, Vinny from Two on the Vine, and this
Hey.
here is KY from Two on the Vine.
Hey, how's it going, Vinny? How are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm doing fine, thanks. Just had a power outage a few minutes ago.
Whoa.
But, doing a lot better now, thanks.
So what's new, man? It's been actually, I think this episode's going to be on time. We hit our 2-week schedule for once. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, schedules suck. I hate schedules.
Yeah, me too. I mean,
but at least we're making them.
we've almost done this for a year. We our first episode was in January, and it's now October, so only a couple more months and we'll have the first anniversary. If we had stuck to our once every 2-week schedule, we should have had about 26 episodes. Do you know what episode we're on? Take a guess.
Like 14.
13, very close. Yeah. So more like once a month, maybe every once in a while, twice a month. But hey, we're hitting it this month.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
You can tell how oblivious I am. Like, 14, no, 13. It's like I should know these things, but
Well, you were close.
I guess I got kind of close. Yeah.
If you had said like 21 or something, then I would have been a little bit disappointed. But
Is this episode 4 of Two on the Vine?
we've only recorded a couple of these, right? We did
Just 3
did-
I was conscious for.
we did the team meet one, and we did one other live cast, and I think that was it. I think we're actually on episode 3.
Hang on, people are saying my microphone is peaking, which is actually really cool because in a way, you get to see we are live.
Yeah.
That's right. This is a live podcast.
Whoa.
Sorry.
You okay?
Yeah, I just choked on a dust mite.
A dust mite.
Something.
I've told you
Yeah.
to stop eating, dirt. Stop eating carpet, Vinny. And
I'm sorry, KY. Carpet and dirt just taste so good.
I wonder what the word is for. Well, what's the word for the eating disorder where you eat things that just aren't food, like compulsively?
There is a name for it, yeah.
Pica? Is that it? No, pica is
Pequod?
Pequod, arriving at LZ. Pica disorder is characterized by an appetite for substances that are largely non-nutritive, such as paper, clay, metal, chalk, soil, grass, or sand.
Metal?
So you have pica, you have Pequod.
Speaking of metal, did you know that you destroyed the anti-air radar?
Oh,
That wasn't part
it
of the
wasn't one of
objective.
our objectives. But it'll put a hole in the enemy's air detection system.
Thing.
Good job,
System.
boss. Fuck, I wish
done.
they would have just, like, I don't know. There are parts of the game that are just, like, blatantly, like, unpolished, and that's one of the things that keeps bugging me. Like how, like, 50 hours in, he's like, you destroyed the thing? It's like, God damn it, Miller. Do you have Alzheimer's? Is there a
Yeah,
problem?
I think since we're jumping straight into Metal Gear, I kind of want to talk about what some of the funnier things in the game for me. Like let's talk about the things that amuse us.
Sure.
For me, I have a few things that constantly come up, which is obviously you destroyed their anti-air radar.
Yeah.
I love how surprised Miller is every time.
Every
and then
time.
there's another thing.
He's coming too.
that it's like the game has got so much stuff in it, but there's like a few things that I wish, like you said, there was a little bit more polish. Like just give Miller another like few lines,
Yeah.
maybe, so that it doesn't sound like he's saying the same thing every time.
Yeah,
Oh,
seriously.
he's coming too.
He's coming too. I think there's like 2 different lines. There's either he's coming too or shit, what was the other one? See, that's the one I remember most distinctly because it's so stupid. Like, he's coming too? Like, yeah, he's
There's,
fucking coming too. What do you think I'm doing? I've recruited
gonna-
every person
You're
at
gonna
random.
extract him.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
wait, Kaz, don't question my choice of men. My lust for men
Yeah.
does not involve your strict judgment on which men I think are good. And it's like, I joke around about like, oh, Snake, there's the target. And then you extract him. You're going to extract him?
Yeah. God damn
Huh?
it. Yeah, it's just totally
So-
out of context. It doesn't has no regard for context of the mission. It has to play like the canned lines and then the lines for the story.
Yeah, it's like there's a few things in it, like I said, that make me laugh every time. Like the skull face character just was funny to me, and the line that everyone flips their shit about, everyone loves, you know, lust for revenge.
Ooh,
Like,
yeah,
the who his voice is funny to me, even when he's trying to say serious stuff.
yeah.
His face is funny. Like he is a funny character, and
He's
I
very
get
funny.
a kick out of it.
He's got like a
Yeah,
Hamburglar mask that he wears and thinks he looks like what's the point? Does he want to hide his like hideous face? And if he does, he should get a better mask. And if he just wants to look cool, like what? I don't get the mask. I just think it's hilarious.
I don't either. It's not hiding anything. Like we know who you are. You're not Zorro.
He's just
You know,
there to steal McDonald Miller's burgers. You know.
McDonald Miller's burger.
Yeah.
Oh God, that's so true. That is
Yeah.
so true.
So how far are you in the story? I mean, we shouldn't talk about Metal Gear forever because we did it on the last one, but I do want to keep up on it because it's a game I really like. So.
Yeah, well,
how far are
that's
you?
why I wanted to discuss the funnier aspects of the game. Like,
Yeah.
I'm about. I just started chapter 2. I did a few missions of chapter 2. So I'm making some progress. I just got wormhole tech, which
Oh, really? Wow.
I find funny because again, there's other funny aspects of like creating a wormhole and animals rising into the wormhole. I find that to be
It's hilarious. It's
amazing.
very tongue in cheek. Just like they knew it was ridiculous and they put it in anyway. And that's the humor of the game that I really like. I've always liked about Metal Gear is when they do over the top bullshit like that and just embrace it.
like Sahelanthropus's gun
Dick.
crotch.
Yeah,
That kind of shit is stupid, but it makes me laugh really hard.
yeah.
So it's a funny game. It's a surprisingly funny game. And then the
Very
Miller
funny.
cheeseburgers, like these are not the best hamburgers I've had. And Miller's like, gee, well, we need to send our R&D guys to get better burgers.
It's so because you remember that what was Miller's name in Metal Gear Solid 1? Do you remember?
McDonald Miller.
Yeah, McDonald. Well, I think it was McDonald, but it's close enough that that was where that joke is going. But what was I gonna say? Shit about chapter 2. Oh, I never got the wormhole. Did you need like a special guy for that or something?
I think so. Yeah, there's Anubis. I think someone said you have to extract something called Anubis. I don't know. It just kind of happened. I did a ton of side quests, and then eventually just wormhole became an option.
Anubis,
it took 2.5 hours. Yes.
Or I don't know.
It was I think it was an animal or something. I could be wrong. I don't remember completely, but I just remember wormhole being available, and people were like,
Man,
Yeah.
because I was looking for it because I knew it existed. Did you know? Because I saw it in like a gameplay trailer or something.
the bird called ibis. Someone in chat just said, and
Well-
and if you or ibis.
I
And if you
did
do
get
that-
ibis.
Oh,
I thought I did. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. Ibis.
I
Yeah.
don't know. It's
The
a
bird.
legendary animal that eventually somehow by extracting an animal you get wormhole tech. So
Gotcha. Oh, the ibis gives you Handed Jehudi, and I did get that, which is another Hideo Kojima game reference. It's a reference to Zone of the Enders, which is like a mech anime game that he made.
yeah, I remember that one. I
Yeah.
never played it, but I remember.
Yeah, I actually got the HD collection a while back and never touched it. Womp womp.
So yeah, I mean, there's some cool stuff that I don't know exactly. It's such a big game, I forget like little details on what does what and how do you unlock certain things. But the humor of the game is surprisingly present, and even when it's not trying to be funny, there are just times where it's just funny. Just the way the characters interact with each other makes me laugh. Huey makes me laugh.
Huey's hilarious.
It's a really dopey game at times.
Although
So,
he's kind of a bastard. I don't know how much, like, because there's still more stuff in Chapter 2, and I don't want to spoil.
yeah.
But,
Yeah, I'm seeing a little bit of Huey being a bastard, but not too much. I've heard
yeah.
some things. Coral.
Cool.
So anyway, aside from Metal Gear, so we've covered that early. Why don't we kind of talk about what have you been up to aside from gaming? Just before we get into the game section of the podcast, what have you been doing? What's new?
Nothing really. I got a job so that's cool. I start on Monday. I'm doing nothing notable whatsoever. It's like the most regular jabroni job, but it's gonna pay the bills, so that's good.
Good.
You know, writing music, working on a game still, like all that personal stuff and streaming. Like, not much new. I went to this party last night with that had a bunch of like indie developers because Carrie works in indie games. She works for indie games. And,
For Indie Games, the movie.
Yeah. And so I met some developers, and that was cool. Like, I met the guy who made Antichamber. I met the guy who made the Stanley Parable and talked to him
cool.
for a bit. So that was really cool.
Yeah, I want to play his new game.
It's good. We can talk about
mentioned
that. It's very serious. Just so you know, it's like, don't expect the Stanley Parable out of it. Like, it still breaks the fourth wall in a lot of ways, but it's linear. It's not a multiple path thing. It's just a story, basically. You still have control of your character, but it's, again, just don't expect the Stanley Parable out of it because it's really different.
Okay.
So, yeah, I could talk a little bit more about that later because I really liked it a lot. Who else did I meet? The party was being hosted by the guy who made Cannonball. I don't know if you've heard of Cannonball. I mentioned this on stream the other day, and pretty much the whole chat was like, holy shit, I love Cannonball. Which
Now, Cannibal or Cannonball?
Cannabalt. So Canabalt.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nope. that's I haven't heard of that.
It's like a runner type game. It's like one of the original runners. Who else was there? God damn. I'm sure there were others but like those were the ones that stood out to me, I guess. And that's pretty much it. Like, nothing special. What's been going on in your life?
You get to meet all the cool indie devs, and I get to meet, I only meet AAA. I'm sorry. I'm much cooler. I like AAA. The devs are really cool, and they have lots of deadlines, and that makes them cooler because they have tons of deadlines and overhead, and also a boss breathing down their neck to release product.
Yeah.
So they party extra hard because of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They go buck wild. I've never met a AAA developer. Anyway, what's new with me? I've been I was sick for a little bit. I'm feeling a lot better now. Bought a bag of skulls. Been recording some music. Going to see.
You bought a bag of skulls?
Yeah. So I'm going to be maybe seeing Tame Impala next week, and that's going to be cool. I've seen them once.
I was gonna say, I know you've seen them before.
Yeah, I won't see a band more than once per album. Like, they came around a few times for their second album, and I was like, nah, I'm good. I just want to see them when their next album comes out, and I might go see them next week, but I'm not sure. And as for the bag of skulls, I know we glossed over it, but let me tell you something. These are quality skulls. Listen.
Yeah.
I just rubbed the skull on the microphone.
I heard it. It felt very it felt like it was full of calcium,
Calcinogenic.
Yeah, I was going to say
I don't know what that
calcic,
means.
or I'm sure there is an actual adjective to mean full of calcium that I'm just not thinking. Calciate?
I don't know.
Where this is, I spend half these podcasts saying, what's the word for this? What's the word for that eating disorder? How do you say full of calcium in a single adjective? Ugh. Like,
Chat, does anyone know?
Cal.
Since we're live, maybe someone could help us.
Full of calcium.
Calciful.
Caliciferous. Caliciferous, according to tense. Calcerific, maybe.
It's calcerific.
Is it calcerific? It sounds calcerific. Yeah. Calcinogen? I don't think so. Peak calcium. Yeah, I don't know. Calcified. It sounded very calcified. That's it. Apparently it's calciferous.
What are words?
Yeah.
Seriously, what are words? And I was looking for one, conflagrate.
Conflagrate.
The other day.
Isn't that in Darkest Dungeon?
It might be.
Or maybe it's just flagellation and I'm just,
There's tons of words in Darkest Dungeon that just are just thrown at you and pronounced in such a noble way.
Yeah. That narration in that game is so good. Yeah. I love the narrator's voice in that game.
Wayne June, yeah, he's amazing. He really is.
Yeah. Uh, shit.
So,
No,
oh,
sorry.
and
Go on.
Comic-Con is next week.
Oh, Comic-Con. Yeah. Yeah.
So
So
let's talk about that for a moment. How did you enjoy Comic-Con, New York Comic-Con, when you came? Because you were here for New York Comic-Con, what, once or twice? I forget.
uh-huh. Yeah, I think twice.
It was twice, yeah.
Pretty sure it was twice, and it was a good time. Like, I like comics, but I'm not a huge comic fan. And the culture or the con is gone beyond comics. Obviously, it kind of extends. It dips its ankles into the waters of related geek culture things, but still largely about comics. So like, I go there and I'm like, oh, this is cool, but it's not it's not PAX or something like that to me, like what a video game con is to me. But it was cool. I liked it. I like seeing. I like meeting some of the celebs. Like I met Scott Campbell last time. And what else? Just like the merch and cool stuff. It's just like one of those. It's cool to go to gatherings like that and just see all the spectacle. I guess.
Yeah, that's kind of what Comic-Con really is. It's about the spectacle. It's
Yeah.
about walking into this crazy, huge place and just getting lost in a sea of people and seeing all these different kind of costumes and things you can buy that are overpriced and swords that they have to then ship to your house because they won't let you have a sword at the con. So it's fun. I like it. It's tiring. It's a very tiring convention. I find myself when I get home from any kind of convention, I'm tired, but Comic-Con especially, I'm a wreck.
Yeah.
Like, because it's just so much walking and so much like waddling, and it makes your hips hurt from waddling through people.
Yeah.
But it is next week and it should be fun. I'm going to be going 3 days, and of course, if anyone sees me, feel free to bump into me and
To trip him.
trip me. You literally bump into me.
Are you going to be going to Calcium Con?
Calcium Con? I don't know.
You could bring
What do
your
they do
skulls
there?
that you just bought and show people how calciferous they are.
Shit. So where you're saying that if I go there, I can do it and
Yeah.
doot?
You can do the things. Do all, yeah. If there's a PAX Pox, what is it? The Comic Con cough? What's the
It's just con flu.
con flu? That's lame.
Yeah.
That's super lame.
Yeah, it's called con flu because you go to these things and then you have to just constantly hand sanitize. And if you don't, when you get home, you should really, take some vitamin C, like 4,000 milligrams of vitamin C, because you're in a room, a giant room
Yeah.
with so many types of people, and there's just the breath on you and the bow and people bumping into you. And me, I'm a nail biter, right? So I have to actually not get anywhere near nail biting because if
Because
I
you're
shake
touching
people's
everything.
hands-
Yeah.
So Comic-Con is a good idea. It's a good idea to go wearing gloves as part of your cosplay.
And your
What's your
own hand
cosplay? I'm a
sanitizer.
surgeon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm someone who's not sick, so don't ruin it for me. Don't ruin my cosplay.
Don't ruin my time. I don't need to be. Yeah.
Oh, here's something. It's comic related and something unique that I did lately. I read the first volume of Sandman for the first time. I rented it because apparently my local comic game, whatever shop, you can rent the first volume of a lot of different popular series, and I read the first volume of Sandman because I've heard a lot about it. Have you read that before?
No, I heard good things.
Yeah. No, it was good. Like, it's kind of weird to see, like, a mythological type hero like Sandman, because it's like him, and then there's death, and you see, like, Lucifer and shit. But then they're also, in the plot, they're mingling with, like, Batman and Superman and, like, other... It's just this weird disconnect, this disparity between the types of beings. I don't know. So it was weird every once in a while when Batman would just pop into the equation. I'd be like, huh. Because the rest of the time he's like searching for his pouch of sand and his mystical ruby and stuff like that.
Yeah, that sounds interesting. I don't know. I mean, I kind of lost comic book interest after a few of them, but I there's a few I like. Is Sandman comparable to, say, have you read Preacher?
No, I know about it.
Okay.
And it's funny because when I ask people like about like their favorite comics or whatever, those are the two that get listed the most often. Like it's usually Preacher and Sandman. So I don't know if they're comparable at all in plot or what's going on. But I know Preacher is more. I feel like Preacher is a more modern thing, whereas Sandman takes the older format of focusing on like a superhero type thing. And I don't know, it's weird.
Okay.
I still feel weird calling Sandman a superhero because again, he's more just like a mythological figure.
Okay.
I mean, Mythos in chat just said Sandman's fantastic, and if you like Preacher, you'll probably like Sandman. So there you go.
Okay.
I mean,
Thank you.
It's written by Neil Gaiman. So
Oh yeah, well he's good. He's good.
yeah, I imagine pretty much anything he does is gonna be really good.
And also speaking of comics, people are drawing really bizarre superheroes for me for Comic-Con, so I can mess around with people a bit. If you haven't seen them after the podcast, you have to check out this thread. You have to see some of the bizarre superheroes that people made for me. It's like there's a weird focus on nipples. I don't know what it is about the artists that are drawing these comic book stuff, but I have to say there's a lot of nipples going on in these comics. Yeah, and focus on like one's like leaking milk out of his nipple.
Really?
What is it with superheroes and nipples?
And nips, yeah.
Isn't that weird?
It is
like
weird.
Like
and I
metallic
wonder,
nipple rub.
Yeah, where did that obsession come from? I wonder what the first superhero to be drawn with nips was. Like nips in their costume. As part of their costume, I guess.
It's probably like Batman, like original bat nips, right?
Yeah.
Hang on.
Holy bat nips, Batman.
I'm going to type original bat nips in Google and see what happens.
Original bat nips. Yeah, I'm going to...
Why the nipple suits in Batman and Robin were actually brilliant.
Actually brilliant. That was the first thing.
Yeah.
I Googled nipples on superhero, and let's see. Here are my results. Batman has nipples. 7 of the worst superhero costumes. 10 worst superhero movie costumes. Star Spy, Beyonce's superhero rhinestone nipple.
What the fuck?
Your nips are like rhinestones falling from the sky.
From the sky.
Yeah.
God, that's funny shit. Yeah, I get a kick out of that. There's always this weird like musculature when it comes to superheroes, and I enjoy the old timey like spandex superheroes, just because it's funny to picture like those were the buff guys, right? Those were the swole the guys that kids looked up to.
Yeah.
And they're usually just these tight, flamboyant like outfits, and then like nipples. But like Batman didn't really have that. Batman was more, he was monotone. He had a black cape. It was a very, very simple kind of concept that really aged well. But a lot of those other superheroes, when you see them in their updated form, they're like wearing like superhero like suit armor, and like everything's like leather and like really like angular and cool. But like back in the day when they were devised, it's like, well, here's a guy in tight spandex.
Yeah.
Here's his bulge. Here are his nipples. Enjoy, kids. And kids were like, that's my hero. So, anyway,
my parents are dead
rant.
too. Yeah.
Yay! Oh.
Will they ever bring back gray and blue Batman? I don't know. I mean, I don't know what his design is like in the new 52 stuff. Like, because again, I don't really keep up with comics. I know there's some bizarre shit in the new 52, which is like the DC reboot of their universe, I guess. Like, I know, like, the Joker apparently, again, I guess spoilers if you're into this stuff, the Joker, like, rips off his face at one point, and then he, like, staples his face back on, and that's, like, his thing, I guess.
Oh, that's cool.
I don't know. No, it's just dumb. I'm sorry, it's dumb.
No, it's you misunderstand me. That's
cool. Yeah, oh, it's so cool. You see the Joker face? Lay Joker face.
Lay Joker face.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Well, any Joker's got to be better than what's going on in that Suicide Squad movie. I'm not feeling that at all.
Yeah, and there are a lot of people trying to like give Leto some credit because they don't want to be the guy that's just a total naysayer. But in this case, I don't mind being a total naysayer. Everything I've seen about this new Joker has pissed me off. I just
the whole movie, really.
Yeah, maybe.
There's nothing in it that's really like. I saw whatever trailer they put out, and I'm not interested. I'm sure it has, it might be good.
Yeah,
but it doesn't. The trailer didn't sell me on it.
but it's got Will Smith in the movie. So
Will
Will.
1, 2, 3, yeah, MIB. That's the song, right?
So,
Yeah.
that reminds me. I just got this flashback to something really embarrassing that I used to do when I was about 7 or 8. Would you like to hear it?
Oh God. Go ahead.
It's not lewd or anything like that. This is related to Will Smith. So,
Will
but
Smith.
if I tell you this, you need to tell me something embarrassing from when you were a kid. That's the
Okay.
deal. Okay.
Yep.
So, I liked Will Smith movies a lot when I was a kid, like Men
Me
in
too.
Black and Wild Wild West and stuff. And I liked the
Independence Day.
songs. I liked the songs that he would come up with because it was Will Smith and it was doing the cool movie thing, you know. And so I remember liking the lyric, or I liked Men in Black so much that I printed out the lyrics to the song and just put it on my wall as if it were like a poster. I did this for like 3 different Will Smith songs, just like side by side along the wall, along whatever stupid little 7, 8-year-old posters I would pick. Among those was just a printout, Will Smith lyrics.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty.
You did a good job. It's
Yeah.
pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I have 2 embarrassing things
Okay.
because they don't compare to that. So I had to do 2 of them.
Okay.
The first thing is, when I was a little shit, I loved Men in Black. I thought that movie was great, and I loved it. And then I used to watch HBO a lot, so I saw other movies with, say, I don't know, Tommy Lee Jones in it,
Yeah.
like The Fugitive, and I just thought he was a great actor.
Yeah.
So, in the early days of the Men in Black, in the early days of the internet, there were these AOL chat rooms that you would go into. It was like the Wild West, forgive the pun,
Yeah.
of the internet. And basically, I went into one of these chat rooms and I said, I'm talking, and I'm like, I think Tommy Lee Jones is my favorite actor. That was my statement, my contribution to this random AOL chat room. That wasn't about movies. And then people were like, no one gives a shit, Cloud. That was my handle. So that's
Cloud.
2 embarrassing things in one.
Good. Yeah,
No,
I've got one related to Final Fantasy in chat rooms. I used to go into chat rooms, like totally random, unrelated AOL chat rooms, and roleplay as Sephiroth. Like, so the chat room would be like general chat TV movies or something, number 62, and I would go in and be like, I brood from the corner. I fly down and stab you through the stomach. And they're like, okay, kid. And then I'd be like, and then I flew away on Meteor.
Meteor, sure. It's like,
Like-
can we leave? Can we like not be here for this?
Yeah, I must have been, well, let's see, if I was playing Final Fantasy VII at that point, I'm gonna guess I was 9 at that point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was about 10, 11,
Yeah.
or whatever it was,
Yeah,
So-
it wasn't quite like a teenager yet, because at that point you realize how dumb that is. And I was still on
Actually,
AOL.
I have less of an excuse. Sure, I didn't roleplay, but I was like 13, 14 when I did that in the chat room there.
Yeah.
So, but it actually put me off so much when people, like, almost everyone was like, no one gives a shit, and I didn't chat for like a whole week because I was so upset. I was like, people don't like me. Yeah.
Oh,
So that's yeah.
man.
And I have one more really embarrassing story that I've never told anyone,
Okay.
but I'll just tell you and no one else. We'll
Okay.
keep it a secret
Yeah, I
just between
won't-
us 2 bros.
You may reveal your secret to me.
Okay.
Are you there? Hang on, sorry.
Yeah.
I dropped a few frames, but I think it's good now.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. You cut out, but now I can hear you.
Okay.
When I was younger, so I was reading about like demons and spirits
Uh-huh.
on these like shitty websites that would like talk about, various types of possessions and ghostly phenomenon. And I was interested in that as a kid for whatever
Yeah.
reason, because it was fun. And I got to this one website, and it showed a picture of a thing. It was literally just geometric shapes. It was like a yellow triangle inside of a big circle with like squiggles and a few lines in like very specific positions.
Yeah.
And on this page, it said, if you print this out and sleep with it above your bed, no spirits will be able to enter your soul.
Your hole.
Right?
Oh.
Your
Yeah.
boy's hole. So it was like, really, this is good because, any passing by spirits that see this will run. They will flee. So I believed it, and I printed it out, and I put it on my fucking wall above my bed. And, it just stayed there for like a week until my mom was like, what the fuck is this shit, Vinny? And just tore it down.
You got to
And,
recreate this in Paint or something so I can like show the stream, so I can put it in
Sure.
the show notes or something. I got to see
Yeah,
this.
I could do that. That's no problem. That's no problem. I'll do that like while we're talking.
Okay.
I can multitask. But
Yeah.
so those are my embarrassing stories.
Yeah.
And for a week I didn't have any ghost nightmares. So hey, maybe
nice.
it did work.
Yeah, it worked. Yeah. Yeah, this one, it's not an embarrassing story, but it's tangentially related to ghosts and shit that happened when we were kids. So, this is from my mom's childhood, apparently. I remember bringing a Ouija board over once when I was like 14 or 15, and my mom freaked out. She was like, you can't have that in my house. You need to take it somewhere else. I will like not have this. And it was really bizarre. And like, apparently I learned that something really strange happened when she was young. And like something about these events involved a Ouija board. Like her and her friends taking a Ouija board and trying to contact spirits or something. Apparently something really fucked up happened and traumatized her. And now she will not go anywhere near a Ouija board.
At all. Like
at all.
That's just not even a thought.
No,
Jesus.
like will not approach one or like tolerate having one in the house. Like I never got the full story or anything. I don't know what happened. I probably never will. I mean, maybe
Right.
and it's probably a lot less interesting even if I did know the story. I'm not knowing it is almost scarier. I don't know. Did you ever
Jeez.
try Ouija board or?
No, I that's one thing I've never done. And as interested as I am in the occult to some extent, I've never once thought like, holy shit, I need to try an Ouija board. I was actually afraid of them for a while. So no, I never had. I did have a cousin that apparently the Ouija board was calling her a see you next Tuesday.
Yeah.
Don't know why I'm censoring myself. But she was basically calling her a whore, a slut, et cetera, et cetera. That was what the Ouija board was giving her as answers.
Well, who's she
And
playing
she
with
said-
though?
I don't know. Probably some friends that were
Yeah,
just
probably
fucking
some
with her.
asshole who is just like,
Yeah.
this will be funny, and it like actually
But-
traumatized her.
But she burned the Ouija board as a result of these
Really?
events. Yeah.
Wow.
Mhm.
Yeah, people take it seriously. There's also the whole. I'm sure you know the story behind the Bedlam and Goliath, right?
Yes, the
Yeah.
Mars Volta album. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to go too in depth about it, but for the chat, I guess. Do you want to explain or should I explain?
I'll start it off, and
Sure.
then you take it.
Yeah.
There's a Mars Volta album called Bedlam and Goliath, which is a concept album. Concept album meaning the whole album is based around one theme,
Uh-huh.
one story. And this story was based around a Ouija board session where they supposedly summoned a spirit called Goliath, correct?
Yeah. I think it took a
And-
couple different names. Like at one point, it took the name Soothsayer, or maybe it took different personalities that went under different names, but it was mostly just one like malevolent spirit.
Right. Yeah, that was so do you actually believe that? Just out of curiosity.
No, not really, but it's very interesting.
I kind of do.
I almost.
Like I don't think they would make it up.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird because I would almost feel like it was a marketing tactic in some ways because they had already done like this weird web game, like a flash game, based around Bedlam and Goliath and what they supposedly experienced with this Ouija board, and but it wasn't actually a Ouija board, like not as we know. It was like something that's pretty much analogous to one that they picked up at a curio shop in the Middle East, apparently. Like, so it wasn't like the commercial one. It was just like this one in like one of those creepy shops that you could just really picture all the doodads and shit.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. And not only did they summon this thing, but it actually started to affect the album. where, well, at first it started to make demands of them, like saying like you need to bring me this, you need to bring me that. Eventually it says you need to bring me a corpse. And it became clear that apparently this being wanted to come back into the world, and it couldn't do it with a body that had life in it. It needed a lifeless body, and that's why in the song Goliath, they have that line, "Give me that corpse, please, na 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 na. I really want it now." You know, so that's what that's alluding to. But when they decided not to humor Goliath anymore, they decided to stop trying to contact the spirit. After that happened, they suddenly went through this huge, like, a series of events of, like, really extreme misfortunes where, like, they almost lost all of the recordings for the Bedlam and Goliath, the album that they were making. They, someone's basement flooded or some shit, just, like, thing after thing after thing. I'm sure it was a lot more extreme than that. I just don't remember some of the events. But they basically knew that they had to finish this album supposedly to put it to rest, and this thing did not want them to make this album. And it wasn't until they decided to just bury this board at a totally random location that they've never told anyone. They said we're never going to tell anyone where it is. They just said they buried it and they've forgotten about it, and they finally managed to release this album despite all the misfortunes. And that was it. It's crazy, absolutely crazy.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
That's but here's another explanation. You know what I'm going to say?
What?
Drugs.
Drugs, yeah, probably
could
drugs. I mean,
it could be just drugs.
They always
it's
claim
a fascinating
that they're clean.
story.
I think it was after Francis or maybe into McAmputecture. They were claiming that they were clean. They weren't on drugs, but I don't know if I believe it because they're moody anyway. You know,
Yeah,
they were very.
really.
Yeah, I don't know how like consistent their lifestyles even were. Like, who knows? But it was a very interesting album, very aggressive. You know, you could tell.
Yeah.
Like, if they were really stressed over some kind of strange, malevolent being that attacked them through an Ouija board, it shows in the album. It's a very stressful album.
Yeah, and if anyone here is not a Mars Volta fan, or if you've never listened to Mars Volta, they are a very hard rock, progressive, psychedelic kind of band, and it's not for everyone. But I mean, when you really get into them, there's like 3 or 4 albums that are amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the kind of thing that that's an interesting story. Like you like talking about the occult stuff. This is not a gaming podcast anymore. I don't know what this is. No. But we'll get back on track. It is October, so you know what?
Yeah.
It's kind of nice to talk a little bit spoops.
A little bit, yeah. We could talk about our favorite horror games maybe in a little bit. Or, well, I mean, we have another episode due later this month, so maybe we can save it for that.
We could start off the spoops a bit. We can
do a double header. I was also just going to say, another tangentially related note, we should just do this, just tangent, all the way through the episode and never get to video games. It'll be great. But talking of misfortunes when albums are being made, Green Day's album After Warning, which Warning was very kind of lukewarm reception. It was a very late album compared to their hit album Nimrod. So like it was several years later. Everyone kind of forgotten about Green Day a bit. They did Warning. It's kind of meh. Everyone's still like, yep, Green Day is kind of done. They had this follow up to Warning that was apparently along the same lines, and they were going to release it, and then apparently their studio flooded or something and completely destroyed the master recordings. Oh, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, it dropped again. Yeah, my internet's been weird.
Yeah, it's dropping slightly. Yeah, it's okay.
So it destroyed whatever album that they had worked on for a year or so, the follow-up to Warning. And so they're like, fuck, well, we still need a new album. So they recorded one just kind of like really quickly. That album was American Idiot. And it sold like more than any of their other fucking records and like launched them back into stardom. It's
wow.
Yeah. It's weird
and that
how
was a whole new set of songs too?
Yeah. No, completely new songs. They didn't keep any of the songs from before as far as I know. So
wow, that's interesting.
Yeah. If you're having trouble,
I couldn't.
Oh, sorry. I was telling the stream to refresh, but then I realized they wouldn't be able to hear me anyway if they were having trouble. What were you saying? You couldn't?
I couldn't see myself throwing away a good song if it's a good one. Like I've got songs that are on this album I'm working on that have been written there's one that was written 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And then, that's an old one. There's one that was written 7 years ago, one that was written 3 years ago. Like, the album is a mix of, like, half of it is a little bit older, half of it's newer. But that's crazy, like, being able to just throw away songs.
Yeah.
But, I mean, they must have really been, like, crap songs, though. Because the ones that I've written a lot of crap songs that I just never revisited or completely forgot about.
Yeah, me
but
too.
if it's a good one, and it just kind of like, for me, I tell you how I know it's a good one. When I pick up a guitar, if I play and I'm like, oh, that reminds me of that idea I had like 5 years ago.
Uh-huh.
And then I play it, and then it's something that I might revisit. Yeah, I've done it a few times. And anyway, yeah, so that's cool. What other spoopy things can we talk about? Because that's a fun topic for now. Any last, maybe one spoopy story per person, per you and I?
Sure. So I think, okay, so when I was a kid, this was before I moved to Chicago, so I must have been less than 9. I think I was really young, actually, like 5 or 6. It was shortly after my cat had died, and this cat I didn't give 2 fucks about. I barely remember her. Her name was Cleo. Like, Miss Cleo!
Okay, Miss Cleo!
Miss Cleo, tell your fortune. And so this cat died, and like a year or so after she died, I was facing the wall. I was trying to sleep. It must have been like 11 p.m. or so. I was facing a wall. I was awake. There was maybe a foot space between my bed and the wall. And this cat, like, shadow thing just, like, jumped up from the side of the bed and scared the living fuck out of me. Like, just, like, hissed. And I screamed. And my parents came in and just like, oh, it's just a nightmare, you're fine. And ever since then, for like a decade or so after that happened, I'd never been able to sleep while facing the nearest wall. I always have to sleep, or not anymore, I can sleep whichever way now, but for a long time I had to sleep facing the bulk of the room. I can no longer face the nearest wall because of this thing that happened when I was a kid. I mean, I had a couple of instances like that. Like, I had a similar one where I thought this dude's hand grabbed me from under the bed. Mm-hmm. But I think what I blame for that was Are You Afraid of the Dark? There's an episode about a Sandman. But coming back to Sandman now. There was an episode about a Sandman, and that thing happened shortly after I saw that. So I think that's related to that.
I think, I've had plenty of times where I would wake up in the middle of the night and just remember some shitty movie or TV show that scared the shit out of me.
Yeah.
But aliens were always the thing that scared me most. By the way, speaking of scary things, real quick, I posted it in the chat. It's the ghost protection image. It's, to the best of my ability, a recreation of it. I'm going to post it in the Skype here. So there it is. And so that will protect you against ghosts. It may be a little or completely off depending on your perspective, but there you go.
And I'm adding it to the screen region now. OBS is a pile of dicks when it comes to adding images. 1 sec. Here it is. There you go. That's the icon.
Yep.
Recreated. Print it out. Put it above your bed. It's like a dream catcher, but against evil, I guess. It's not dream catchers too. Well, shit.
It's probably completely wrong. So it may protect you from a bug. Maybe not ghosts, but like if you tape it over a bug, they might not be able to escape.
The bug just becomes paralyzed.
Yeah.
Whoa, you should market that. Damn.
That's the product.
Yeah.
So, I'll tell you one quick scary story since we're tangentially speaking. When you said tangentially speaking, I actually thought about a week ago that might make a good album name, but it's a bit of a mouthful.
Tangentially speaking, I like it.
Mm-hmm.
I think the word tangent or tangential, if that might not even be a word, I might just be totally making that up or misusing it. But it's a useful word that is so annoying to say. So I want to stop saying it, but I find myself using it lately because it's such a useful word. So like
conflagration.
Yeah, it conflagrates.
Tangentially speaking,
everything. Yeah.
Here, let me rub the skull against the microphone.
Okay.
All right, now everyone has got good luck and blessings from Mr. Skull, and healthy calcium.
Yeah.
If you're visited tomorrow by the Bone Fairy, you will be blessed with good joints and less aching joints and good things tomorrow when you're visited by the Bone. Horrible joke. Okay, listen. I want to tell you about my scary story that I had, which is I've had a few, but I'll tell you one. Just one. It involves sleep paralysis, and it involves hearing a demon noise in my head.
Okay.
And basically, yeah, I was in my bed. I was meditating at the time. This was something I did, and I probably told this story years ago, but one more time for old time's sake.
Sure.
I was meditating, and I was just kind of, my mind was completely clear because I was going through some shit, and I wanted to just do that and clear my mind, which is, meditation is great for that.
Yeah.
And what happened was, I don't know how long I was meditating, but eventually I started kind of hearing like a low rumbling, and then a voice, and it sounded not pleasant. You know, it sounded like a voice you would run from if there was a way to do such a thing.
Yeah.
And it really scared the shit out of me because then it started speaking in different language.
Wow.
I don't know what kind of language it was. It was really weird, but it's like, I hate to say it, when you watch like the movies with the demon voices, it was almost kind of like that. Now, this could have just been my stupid subconscious, but that didn't change the fact that I was then unable to move as the voice got louder. And I wasn't sleeping.
Yeah.
But it felt like sleep paralysis, and I could not move my body. And I actually was just there as this voice got louder, and then I guess with a really, really like burst of effort and whatever, I managed to get up, and I just sat up in a cold sweat, and I just stopped meditating. That actually, for a while, that was the last time I meditated, and I remember writing down in my notebook some of the kind of the words that I heard or the sounds, and I tried to recreate them as best I could. I have searched for that piece of paper for a long time at various points in my life, and I'm convinced it's completely gone.
Goliath reclaimed it. It didn't want you to learn
darkness.
How to speak Kikongo, you see. So
1, 2, 3, Kikongo. 4, 5, 6, Kikongo.
Man, that was such an obnoxious part of that fucking game. Putting everyone in the goddamn brig. Like,
you must quarantine every single soldier.
Yeah.
Okay. How long is this going to take? Maybe a half hour or more. Listen to some tapes, jerk off. Okay.
It was a decent idea, but it sucked that you couldn't like sort by language. You should have been able to sort by literally anything. It would have kept the puzzle intact and then made the process way faster and would have been kind of clever. But because you couldn't do that, it just sucked. It really sucked.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, wow, that's crazy. You shouldn't meditate. Yeah. That shit's bad.
Well, no, I was a young whippersnapper at the time, and I've meditated since then, and I've achieved similar states of nothingness. Not recently, but I've never had a similar situation, and I've actually, don't worry, I got the thing printed out on my wall, so it's fine. It's the MS Paint art. It's great. It'll take care of any demons, so I'm good. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. What are some of your favorite horror video games? Do any come to mind? Like, are you a big horror game fan?
Yes and no.
Yeah.
No, because I don't really get scared too easily. And yes, because I love horror games. I just wish they scared me more. I wish there were better horror games.
Yeah.
I love Eternal Darkness to this day. Still one of my favorites.
Mm-hmm.
And I also really love my first experience with the original Resident Evil.
Okay. Yeah.
Did spook me quite a bit.
Yeah, Resident Evil 2 scared me a lot when that came out, and I must have been, how old was I? I must have been like around 12 when I actually played it. And I don't think it was so much that the game was scary. Oh, come on, OBS. Hang on. Can you hear me?
Yeah. You just dropped a few frames.
Yeah, I don't know why that keeps happening. Yeah, I played Resident Evil 2, but I don't think it was because the game was scary, but more just that it stressed me out, like between having really low ammo and these zombies and like the shitty camera angles. It was a lot that was really, it just stressed me out a lot, and I think I confused that with good horror. Like, oh, what a scary game, but it really wasn't. It's not that scary. I guess. But
It's stressful.
yeah. Yeah, Silent Hill, on the other hand, the very first Silent Hill with the guys crashing through the window and then being in the fog town and not being able to see where the things are coming from, that was a step up. Like, still very Resident Evil-y, but playing that Silent Hill demo, that I got from Pizza Hut, it scared the shit out of me. It was so... Not only that, but having, like, this different aiming system where you had to press one of the shoulder buttons. And this was, like, right as they started to introduce, shoulder buttons being useful. Because they hadn't figured that out quite yet. And, like, I didn't know how to shoot, and there were things attacking me, and it was just, the fog. It was terrible. It scared me so much.
I never played Silent Hill, but it definitely, when I look back on it, if I think, like, the type of stuff I liked when I was younger, I would have probably really loved that game.
Yeah. Did you play Silent Hill 2?
No, never played a Silent Hill.
You should once. Play Silent... Well, I would suggest Silent Hill 2, like, because I'm not the type of person to be like, play the whole series, because some people do that, and I can't stand that, when you're like, I've never played this. You're like, okay, wow, you should start with 2, and then play 3 and 4, and then maybe go back to 1. And it's like, I'm not going to do that. I'm sorry. Like, if I had more time, I would. But if you're going to play any of them, and you should consider playing just at least 1, I would recommend 2. I know some people would recommend 3, and I've never played 3, so I can't actually comment on that, but... consider it. There's actually an HD remix, but a lot of people will shit on you if you stream it because they butchered a few things.
Okay.
So maybe you can emulate it, or I don't know what. But I got the HD remix or the HD remaster because I was lazy and I couldn't get to emulate right at the time. So I was just like, I know it's not as good as it could be, but it's just the version that I happened to pick up. And, of course, the chat just shit on me, like, for almost the entire game. And I told them, like, yeah, I get it. I'm sorry, guys. Nothing I can do. So, if you can find a way to play it besides that, then do that. But, honestly, if you have to do the HD version, then it's not that bad, I don't think. I'm just not a huge Silent Hill fanboy. But they did change a lot and ruin a lot of it, apparently.
Okay. Fair enough. That happens from time to time.
Yeah. Speaking of Silent Hill, PT is still probably and I played that recently. Like, I got my PS4 around April, so I must have played it by, like, May at the latest this year. And that was fucking scary. Like, I've never had a game induce panic and, like, horror as much as the PT demo did. And, it was bad enough that I actually got a nightmare. Not about PT specifically, but I had a nightmare where an element of it was easily inspired by my experience with PT. I don't know why. It was just, it got into me that deeply. PT is intense. Totally intense.
Yeah, dude, that's something that I tried to, like, I played the PT Unity.
No.
And I tried to, it sucked. And then I played a PT remake in Project Spark, and that sucked.
Yeah.
But I did end up playing a game called Layers of Fear.
Yeah.
Which was heavily inspired by PT. My full playthrough of it, it's only like 2 hours. It's still not complete, but it's very, very, very PT inspired. And there were some good moments in that. It started getting a little old because, as I explained, the problem with the game was this. When you go through a fun house or like a haunted house and you just know that around every corner there's going to be something?
Yeah.
It was like that. It was like I was on a roller coaster ride through a hallway where every 10 feet you could expect a new thing that was weird. And I started actually anticipating the spoops, and there was really not a whole lot that scared me by the end of it. But I felt like the game suffered from lack of respite. There wasn't enough time to regain some normalcy so that the shit would scare you again.
Yeah.
That said, if you liked PT, I do think you would enjoy Layers of Fear. There's a lot of good stuff in that game. Yeah.
I'll have to check that out. Layers of Fear.
Yeah, at the very least, check out my video of it for like 5 minutes. You might like the atmosphere,
Yeah.
But that's a cool horror game. And I was going to say, too, I'll tell you, it's the original Slender game.
The very first one.
I'll tell you a quick story about Slender. My second or third experience with Slender was my friends were over. Tyler was over. My friend Rupert, I guess my friend Mike was over too. So there's like 3 of us, and we had turned the lights off completely, and I put Slender on my TV, right? So I play it, and it is actually like, this is when Slender first came out, so it was still kind of, the novelty of it was still there, and it was unexpected to play the game somewhat, because you just would look behind you and there would be Slender instead.
Right.
The jump scares were really intense the first like time you played it, or the first few times.
Yeah.
So my friends were huddled around this TV. I got the volume up, no light except that, and they were freaking out. I was too, a little bit. Like, we were jumping. Like, there were moments that really, like, to this day, my friend Tyler will tell the story about how that moment, that night, scared the shit out of him.
Yeah.
So, long story short, after we were done with Slender, I walked them over to where my washing machine, and I said, look down in the corner. Like, and then they looked. My friend Tyler put out like a light, and he got scared again because there was a mask on the wall. And it just reflected back at him, and it scared him again. And it was just a dopey moment that, like, I didn't even expect to happen. And then everyone's like unsettled, and this is like 3 a.m. Then everyone goes outside to leave, and it is a thick fog.
Wow.
Like, from the previous time we went outside, there was nothing outside. And then you go out again at 3 a.m, and it's just this, like, you couldn't see like more than 7 or 8 feet in front of you. It was really intense.
Jeez.
And it scared the shit out of me too. I was like, how did this happen? So yeah, there are stories of that night that persist to this day. Anyway, that's just a fun little Halloween kind of story, even though this stream is way early for Halloween. So
that's okay. I mean, we'll do some more in the next episode, I'm sure. Horror. Oh, Dead Space 2. Have you played that? Have you played any of the Dead Space games?
I played the one on the Wii, the one on rails.
Extraction.
So I've never played. Yeah.
I hear it was decent. I mean, I guess some would say they're not even really horror. They're spooky, alien dead creature things that stalk you on a space station. It's horror influence, sure.
That sounds spooky to me.
Yeah. It's funny, I put the icon, or the picture you made, the anti-ghost picture in the corner of the stream. And to me, what it looks like is a warning image. Like, when you see this picture, we're talking about the spoops. Like, it's hard to describe. Like there is some TV show I watched a long time ago that would say, like, when we display this icon, you need to do this or that, or you can expect this thing to happen. That's what I'm thinking of with the podcast. Anytime we're talking about spooky things, I'm going to put this little icon in the corner so that the viewers know what they can expect.
Right, okay. That works. Yeah. What a stupid little picture that is too, but
I love it.
Yeah.
I kind of want it on like a t-shirt or something, so people can like ask me what the hell it means. That'd be great.
Hang on. I'm going to try something. Rune to print out to protect against malevolent spirits.
Malevolent.
Yeah, I just had to spell that out correctly. It says here, rune for protection. There's a bunch of, if you take a look on Google Images, you'll see less shitty MS Paint looking runes, but apparently there's 1,000 different types of runes to protect you.
Let's see. So what'd you type? Runes to protect you.
To print out to protect against malevolent spirits.
Print runes to protect against malevolent spirits. Let's Google. Rune for protection.
If you just Google image, you'll see like all the shitty. This one page for rune for protection, it says fair use. This rune is copyright Grey Shaman. These runes are given out to help people to help themselves. You are permitted to use it freely. Like, oh, thank you. I didn't realize I needed a copyright permission form to print out a fucking shitty MS Paint rune to put on my wall. Yeah,
somewhere in like the spirit realm is the law offices of Runes and Goldstein, where they
and
approve.
Goldstein.
Yeah, where they work on these runes, the copyrights, and who can and can't use them, and who's infringing, who's using them without permission. Because the rune smiths only made them for limited people.
Question: is Runes also Jewish,
Runes.
or is just Goldstein?
No, just Goldstein. This chick has like them tattooed on her, like all over her body. Jesus, I guess no ghosts are getting in.
There will never be a ghost.
The one I see the most is this like Y icon with the extra like line in the middle. Yeah, I see that one.
It's almost like a Red Hot Chili Peppers kind of thing.
Yeah, I see that one a lot. Speaking of Jewishness, a lot of these also have a Star of David. So maybe
I know.
Yeah. What is this? Did you find the one that's like a person like bending over like a pi symbol? Like it looks like they're trying to like dive over it, but it's teeny tiny.
Hang on. I haven't seen that one. I would like to see it though.
It's my browser's I'm on a small monitor.
Oh, I see it. Yeah, that's what the fuck am I looking at? Here, I'm gonna post it in the chat.
Yeah. I mean, they're looking at it too. I have it shown. It's showing on the stream.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
I have a book about runes that I bought for like $5 years ago, and it's basically just various rune combinations that you can put on stones or I don't know. Anyway, I read a chapter of the book and I gave up. Like I tried to. I like the paranormal. I like researching it, but there's only so much interest you can put into something that does not work. You know what I mean? Like you could read something forever and it's just like, oh please. Like I found myself shaking my head while reading this book. But in any case, I'm sure there's some kind of somewhere someone has figured out how to make this be a thing. I'm not doubting that it's true. I'm just doubting that it's true for me. So
I just googled stupid rune because I wanted to find a dumb looking rune, like something similar to what you made, and I can't find anything. Yours is one of a kind. I think you found the right one.
I mean, I drew it.
Yeah. Well,
So,
I mean,
I
but
had
you
to
drew it
make
from
my own.
memory. You remembered. Like the
Yes.
true printable rune. Printable rune. Yeah.
The principal rune that I found 15 years ago is lost from the internet, but it was in fact just like that. So,
Yeah. Cool.
but anyway, so on a different topic, what other things do you want to discuss? Maybe some gaming stuff, and then we'll take some questions from the chat.
Sure. Yeah, we could talk about what we've been playing lately. What have you been playing lately?
Lots and lots of nothing.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I've been playing the usual stuff.
Yeah,
And,
the stuff on your
Darkest
stream.
Dungeon. Yeah, the stuff on my stream. What I've been playing off stream has been anything different than usual. Well, a little Halo. I got the Halo thing, and that's the Master Chief Collection, and it's pretty good, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm bored.
Should get some new games, man. We finally picked up Mario Maker today. I haven't played it yet. Carrie's been playing it, so probably gonna sit down and chill with that later. See what that's like. But
I've made a ton of maps since we last did a podcast, so
yeah.
I guess Mario Maker has been something on my agenda. Yes.
So since you're on my friends list, will I be able to see all the maps you've made easily? Like, can I
No,
just...
you have.
Really?
Yeah.
God damn it, Nintendo. Can't they just make these things easy? Fuck.
So someone on the Mario Maker forums that I visit was like, I made a full campaign. It's like 12 maps or whatever.
Yeah.
And the only way to play it is to enter each code one at a time and just download the maps and put them in order.
Fucking damn it. I hate it. I want Nintendo to come out with these really like well done, creative, imaginative things, but they're just totally held back by like old white businessmen who own stock in their company that make half their decisions for them. It's like they're shackled. They're like to like
They're
those
shackled
guys.
by the shekel.
Yeah, they are. They're shackled by the shekel, and it pisses me off. Like, they could do so many wonderful things, and they restrict themselves. Makes me so mad. God damn it.
It makes it. Trust me, you don't even know the half of being mad at Nintendo. And I'll tell you what, this kind of thing pisses me off. What you'd have to do though, you'd have to find my username in Mario Maker and then favorite me.
Okay, so I can actually search your name at least. Like, it has some friend support, or at least like you can search for individual users even if you can't import like your friends' levels directly.
I think what you'd have to do is go to one of my maps, then favorite me once you enter the map in, and then you can see whatever I upload.
Okay.
So, but if you want to play a campaign, that's a whole different story. That takes effort. So my maps, you could just play one at a time in whatever order you want. So
Gotcha. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have no idea what kind of level I would make to start. I'm
That's
hoping
why
that
you should play a few first.
Yeah, no, yeah, of course. I definitely want to. I was watching Carrie do like a Pac-Man level where there were a bunch of coins and like ghosts were chasing you throughout, like the Mario ghosts. I was like, oh, that's clever. Yeah. But like I said, I have a feeling that if you play Mario Maker like a few months to a year from now, and any levels that are still being made, like the newest levels, are going to be awesome. Like the remaining community is going to be, the dedicated remaining community is going to be putting out the best levels. It's the launch community that is so hard to like, dredge through.
Yes.
But, yeah.
It's already getting a little bit better, but at the same time, I notice my levels get less likes than they used to. So the community is filtering out a bit.
Yeah.
And generally, though, it's still a really fun process. So I still think Mario Maker is great. I might start playing Monster Hunter again because I miss it. Otherwise, what other games have I been playing? Just a lot of Metal Gear.
Yeah.
Off stream, I do the side ops.
Have you heard of this game called Undertale? Have you heard of it?
Have you heard of Undertale?
Have you heard of Undertale? Are you going to stream Undertale, Vinny?
Can you stream Undertale too? Because it's your kind of game. You're an indie guy.
I am an indie guy, but I think you need to stream Undertale.
Wait, did you know that in Undertale you can go full pacifist run, and if you don't, you're actually literally Hitler?
But have you heard of it? Have you heard of Undertale?
I have heard of it. Did you hear of it though?
Could you stream Undertale? Could you?
I want you to stream Undertale because Undertale's really cool, and I want to see my characters because I love everything.
Have you heard of Undertale?
Do you love?
But in all seriousness, I hear it's great. I hear it's really good. So like, despite like, I guess there are some complaints that it feels very memey, like it has that kind of perpetuation, like self-perpetuating, like, feel to it. But it's been like everyone who's actually played it has said that it's awesome, like ridiculously good. Like just like if you put aside your expectations and just do it, like put aside like goat mother meme face, then
goat mother meme face. Yes.
Supposedly it's totally worth it and totally awesome. I think I will actually. On a totally serious note, I am actually going to stream it at some point. Probably not right away because I know a lot of people are streaming it. But maybe in like a week or two, I'll check it out. It was actually gifted to me by Kyle.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it was gifted to me by Vappy, and I respect that I have the game, and it's like thank you and everything. I just don't want to play it. I just don't want to play it right. I've had people tell me 90% of the people want me to play it, and they tell me constantly, and I still get emails about it. And then there's another 10% that do not want me to play it because they think I'll ruin the game somehow because I'll make it popular or something. I swear to God, it's weird logic. Yeah. And it's like, wait a minute, this game is already like the third game on Steam. But Undertale is basically, for those that don't know, it's this game. It's like an RPG that people love and are very, very excited about. And I think really ultimately at the end of the day, it looks like a good game. It looks like people like it. Some people have said it was overrated. Other people have said it is really, really that good. I don't know what to believe. I just think I'm going to pass for now because the rabid fan base, I'll tell you what'll happen, KY. I will play this game and I will make one wrong decision a day, like per stream, and people are going to stop watching my stream. They're going to hate me because I killed their favorite character, or they're going to hate me because I'm not killing their favorite characters, or they're going to hate me just because I play the game slightly different than them. Yeah. And games with such fanatical devotion like that
are
just not fun. It's just not fun for me.
I totally understand. Like there's some games that are just like that where when you stream them, you're you're not going to please everyone, and whoever you don't please is going to be really vocal about the fact that you didn't please them. And you can like prep them as much as you want. Like, guys, just so you know, I'm just gonna play it the way I want to play it. Just enjoy it. Just try to enjoy the stream. I'm sorry if I choose something that you don't like. Don't try not to freak out. Even still, a lot of people will be cunts about it, and that sucks. And you're right. It has something to do with like really fanatical fan bases. But I don't know. A lot of people in chat right now are saying that you should try it off stream sometime, and that you'll probably be pleasantly surprised, and that way you won't feel pressured. But yeah, but playing video games off stream, get a load of these guys.
I might one day, but you know, it's just not on the agenda. I played off because it was so requested, and I
Did you like off?
I liked it, but I didn't love it.
I hear
liked
that
a lot of
Undertale is way better than off. Like leagues better. Like
Okay.
off was
Well,
cool.
then that's cool.
But apparently Undertale is like next level. So
Next
supposedly, there's been a lot of like feelsy games that have been nailing it lately. Like between Undertale, which I haven't played, Dropsy gave me a lot of feels, and that game was awesome. Loved it. And then The Beginner's Guide, which is the follow up to the Stanley Parable that just came out.
Oh yeah.
Played that and excellent. Or I really liked it a lot. It's not going to be for everyone. For those in chat who played the Stanley Parable, if you're going to get into the Beginner's Guide, and I think you should because it's worth it, do not expect another Stanley Parable. It's overall a very, very differently toned game. It's pretty serious. It's got a pretty good narrative, some really interesting like game stuff going on. But it's definitely a quote-unquote story game, like a quote-unquote walking simulator. But it's good. It's really well constructed. It really gets you thinking really hard. And when I streamed it, we had some good dialogues, and everyone seemed to like it a lot. So
would you say this game, are there any comparable games to how it made you feel as a person, or is this...
No,
in a league of its own?
This is new. And it's funny because when you look up reviews of the Beginner's Guide, there's this kind of universal consensus that it's hard to comment on because it's so new, it's so different, and it's presenting a narrative that's so different compared to other games that all these reviews. Hang on.
Yeah, you dropped out a little bit.
Am I back now? I am.
Yeah.
Okay, so all these reviews are saying. They all say like, I don't know how to comment on this. It's so different. It's so like, it just, I don't know. And I can kind of agree with that, but I'll give you some more insight than a lot of these shitty reviews gave me, because a lot of them are just like, I can't say anything. And that's just not true. I'll give you some backdrop. So the game is narrated by Davey Wreden, who is the developer for the Stanley Parable. He just puts himself in the game, says, "Hi, I'm Davey. My last game was the Stanley Parable. This game you're playing right now is the Beginner's Guide." He gives you like a little bit of background and things. The story revolves around this developer who may or may not be fictional, named Coda, who is apparently a friend of Davey's. And Davey said, "I just want to bring you through some of Coda's games." He made a handful of games over a few years and then suddenly stopped making games. I just wanted to bring you through these games and give you some insight into like the design behind them and what I think they mean to Coda and what they mean to me. So he puts you... basically, you play game after game of these like bite-sized little things that Coda made. And eventually a bigger narrative does evolve above that as you kind of see deeper into why Coda is making these games and like what they mean to him. But it feels very personal partly because the main character is Davey. It's hard to separate Davey as a real person in the real world and Davey as the narrator for this game. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So what were you going to say?
I was just going to say, is Davey gray?
So the game is it's good. It's a good experience. It's good going through each of these games and seeing what they're all about. And I'm glad I did it. It's a one and done thing. It's not like the Stanley Parable where you play it over and over and get multiple endings. The beginner's guide is just one shot, beginning to end, and you've done it. Maybe a second playthrough just to understand more about it. I mean, when you know how you see Fight Club for the second time and it makes more sense, that kind of thing.
Gotcha.
You might want to play through the beginner's guide a second time with your knowledge from the ending of the game.
Okay. Is it a game I could complete in one sitting?
Yes, easily. Hour and a half, 2 hours.
That's good.
Yeah,
that might be a fun stream for me to do then.
Yeah, and it's cheap. It's like I think the list price is $10, and I think launch discount was 20% off or something. So I got it for like $8. So I mean, Stanley Parable was 15. So what was I gonna say? Yeah, it's if you're gonna stream it, try to prep the chat a little because people are gonna get shitty maybe.
Yeah, they're gonna get memey. They want the memes or they want like the funnies, and they'll see something that's actually a little different. So yeah, I would have to definitely prep the chat and say, listen, guys, we're gonna have to slow it down. You're gonna have to make a nice hot cup of tea, and you're gonna have to get in a nice warm blanket and take all that shit posting and throw it out the window because today we're gonna have some love. I'm gonna make love to you, baby.
Gonna lay you down by the fire. Yeah.
So that's pretty much something I'd be interested in trying. I just wanted to let you know I enjoyed Tower Fall. Thank you for the copy of it. Tower Climb.
Tower Climb. Yes. Although Tower Fall is also very good.
It's a great game, Tower Climb.
Yeah. We've both been playing Tower Climb. I've had a lot of time in Tower Climb because I got it when the beta first came out, which was like years ago. And then with the Steam release, it was a huge content update. They essentially doubled the length of what the beta was. So I've been able to dive back into it. And what do you think of it so far, since you're a newcomer into it?
I hate it because I want to play more of it, and I know how I get with games like this. This will be like a 12-part series for me if I stick with it. It'll just eat up so much time. I like it a lot. It's a lot of fun. Some people in the chat weren't crazy about it.
Yeah,
they didn't think it looked great, and I think that it's more fun to play than watch, perhaps.
I think there's a couple of reasons that happens with Tower Climb newbies. Like, for when there's a streamer that's doing it and they're new to Tower Climb, you're gonna die so often that you'll see that first area a lot. And the first few areas blend together a bit. They're thematically similar. It's all just stone. They introduce a new enemy here or there. Like, you get to the hatchery and all of a sudden there are some worms and a beetle, Then you get to the conservatory. Oh, I shouldn't spoil that because you're not there yet, right? You just got to the hatchery?
Yeah.
Okay. So, not only that, but seeing the pixel art turns a lot of people off. I've noticed that people tend to focus on either big picture pixel art or little picture pixel art. So some people, I've streamed Tower Climb, and they see the character who's about 5 pixels tall with no detail because he's only 5 pixels tall. He's tiny. And they say, this game looks like shit. Why is it so resolution? Why is the guy so small?
Why is it so resolution? I like that.
Yeah. Or why is it so low resolution? And like, they don't see that like all the other art in the game is pretty detailed. It's just the guy himself is tiny. And then there are other people that see the bigger art part of it, like the bigger picture, and they see how more detailed the environments are and some of the more subtle effects, and they can get into it. So I think that might be why some people see it and they feel discouraged, because the initial impression is that there isn't much to it, I guess. You see the first few areas and you're like, okay, is it just, a whole bunch of floors of this? Does it ever end? Like, that's another thing they ask. They say, does it ever end? And that also, I guess, betrays their assumption that it's just that same type of floor for until you die. So I guess it's easy to get the impression that it doesn't change much, but I can promise you it changes in really unexpected ways. Like, some of the areas later are nuts. Like, so there are these things called death cards. Basically, it's if you go to your log, you see the different ways you've died, a collection of them. Like, you can click on a card and it shows the little image that you got, and you can see how many ways you died.
That's cool.
Yeah, just as an example, one of my death cards, one of my latest ones, I was cut in half by a glow stick. Okay.
Okay.
There's
like
one
that.
where I was dunked by a wizard through a basketball hoop. Stuff like that. There's unexpected, batshit crazy things in towards the end game. It's awesome. I just love it so much. Yeah, and believe me, you're not even close to seeing the meat of it, and it's just I wish I could be in your shoes so I could do like I guess experience that again. But
Yeah.
I
It's cool.
yeah, yeah, I love Tower
I just,
Climb.
I just want to say one thing.
Yeah.
It's
Or are you rubbing your skull against the mic again? Because I can't hear it this time. Oh. I feel that made me really uncomfortable. What was that? Vinny? 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 Are you okay? Vinny? 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 Vinny?
am I alive?
Yeah.
Hello?
Hello?
Whoa, hi.
Hi. Are you okay?
So,
You cut
I
out?
don't know what happened. I slipped into a void. Did you hear that?
No.
Did you hear the
Wha- I'm so confused. The chat's freaking out. I
Did you
think-
hear this?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I heard, what was that?
I don't know. Why don't you tell me what it was? Anyway, as we were saying about tire climb,
Tire climb.
what? Yeah, it's a long story. Something Reg sent me just now. So anyway, I'm alive. Sorry, I lost volume there for a second. That was unintentional effect of dying. I was gonna say what this game Tower Climb is very good, and
Yeah.
I think it is almost, as people say when they show up. There's two things they say. It's a reverse Spelunky, and that it sounds like Super Metroid, and that it has a good atmosphere. Those are the most common comments that I kept seeing for it. So
Yeah.
those are good things, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, the game does have an end. It's not just endless floors. There is an objective ending to the game. There's a top to that tower, and there's crazy shit at the top, and it's awesome.
Cool.
I see. It's funny. A lot of people make like really surface level comparisons too. Like I saw a person in your chat say, "Oh, this looks like Risk of Rain."
Well, graphically, it might have a similar style somewhat, yeah.
Only in that like the person's
But
tiny.
it's not. It's very different.
Right. It's like such a different thing.
Yeah,
like,
the person's tiny and it's pixel.
or I've seen people compare it to Vagante. They're like, should I get like this or Vagante? Like they look the same. What should I get? And it's like, well, they're different.
They're completely different.
Yeah,
games.
they're so different. Like Vagante is like like an action slashing RPG. Sure, it has its Spelunky influences because Kyle loves Spelunky, and so does Tower Climb. But I don't know. They're just so different. I guess it's harder to get those surface level things. I guess I'm biased because I've been playing Tower Climb and I played Risk of Rain, so I know the difference. So
Yeah, I mean, I've played Vagante, Risk of Rain, and Tower Climb, and I can say that they are three very, very different games. They just have somewhat slightly similar graphical styles, but that's kind of like the thing about Steam is you really don't need to stick to any specific specifications.
Yeah.
Stick to any specific specifications. Wow, that's a tongue twister sentence.
Stick to any specific specifications. Well, because you're saying it's redundant.
That's a redundant sentence too.
Excuse me. Yeah.
That's super redundant, but I like when games have a good atmosphere, and this game works really well for that. Like the game has that Super Metroid kind of vibe, which you get this
The
like
discovery is
desolate-
huge. Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. It's good, and
You
the
can really-
lighting is cool.
Yeah, you can tell there's a mystery behind the tower, and that you want to solve this mystery. Like, because when I first played Tower Climb, that's kind of the ebb and flow of the game. Was like it's punishing, like it's really, really difficult, but you need to keep going because you just need to see what the next area has. You need to see what's at the top. You got to figure it out. And there's
Right.
always like secrets popping up, like Path of Exiles. I saw you pop up a few times, and Zardo attacked you a few times, and like you can kill Zardo. In case you didn't know this, you could kill Zardo, or supposedly kill him, and you can, take his wand. You can shoot the wand at things, which has crazy effects. There's this really deep, like, interaction system to it. It's kind of like old school roguelikes where everything interacts with everything, to the point where there's some really deeply buried interactions that just decide to pop up at random, and it really gives it gives a really grand, connected, in-universe feel. Everything behaves the way it should, and there's just always things to find.
Now I want to play it. Thanks.
Yeah.
You just set me up to want to play the game again.
Yeah, I love it. Just remember, dogs are evil, and you should kill all of them.
Agreed. In this game, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Which is why.
No.
So anyway, why don't we take some questions from the audience? How's that sound?
Sure. Yeah. TowerClimb's great, but it's goddamn Q&A time.
Yeah, I'll be right back too. Give me 1 sec.
Sure. And
I'll be literally 15 seconds.
That's how long it takes for you to pee? Do you flush?
No, I just have to walk over to the other side of my room that my headphones can't reach.
Okay, try to get it everywhere, okay? You can take the
All
time.
right, I'm going to try.
Okay. So yeah, we'll do Q&A. You can ask whatever you want to ask. Try to keep it like video game related. Don't just be like, "Oh, is your Uncle John Cena?" Because I've seen way too much John Cena today. Jesus Christ. On the Two on the Vine Twitter account. Keep it lax on the memes, guys. Ask some questions. Video game related or not. You can ask whatever you want, but, try to put some thought into it, I guess. Did you wash your hands, Vinny?
Hello and welcome to the Vine Sauce ASMR Challenge, Part 11. Part 2, this is, can you guess what the ASMR is this time?
It sounds like you're urinating in the sink.
Not quite.
Oh.
Guess again, fellow traveler.
You're pouring some fruity juice into a small flask into the mic.
Very good, traveler. You won the ASMR Challenge. Thank you.
Yeah, I knew it. Figured it out.
It's good quality podcast today.
Yeah.
Because of me, really. Sorry. I mean, I am obviously the lifeblood. Get to pee on the thing and do the things with the weird noises and tell stupid stories. It's good. Very good. I'd like to apologize on behalf of the BBC for all of this.
First question from Monocap. What would your dream game or perfect game be to you? I mean, obviously that's a big question, but maybe you can say a word or two about it. I don't know. Do you?
Chrono Trigger.
Yeah, I was gonna say like Spelunky. Yeah, like
Super
TowerClimb
Metroid.
is like blowing me away right now. It might be up there. Metal Gear Solid 3, I think, is a pretty good embodiment of a perfect game to me. Metal Gear Solid 3 was just great.
It was great. I would say that the probably the Super Metroid formula is still great for me. I would love another Metroid game like Super Metroid, except double the length with a lot of secrets and really good tight controls and really stylized, like, good graphics that aren't just, new Super Mario Brothers crap. Like, I want something nice in the Metroid universe, and then that would be my perfect game.
Cool.
Imagine that style with randomly generated areas like
So
Spelunky.
Chasm.
Yes.
Isn't that Chasm?
Actually.
Yeah,
That's Chasm, yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Maybe Chasm will be my perfect game when it comes out.
Maybe. That game does look great, and I haven't played it yet.
Yeah.
The Sax Wizard asks, can both of you recommend 3 relatively new games? Can you? Maybe we'll come up with 3 together.
Shovel Knight Plague of Shadows.
Okay, yeah. Very solid recommendation. My recommendation is TowerClimb. I know we're harping on TowerClimb a lot. I just love TowerClimb. Goddamn.
My initial impressions would agree with KY on that.
And a third one.
Mario Maker, I would recommend, but why don't you give one too, KY?
Newer game. I like Dropsy. If you like point and click adventures, Dropsy is really heartwarming and great and well designed. I love Dropsy. Let's see. 8-Bit Beetle asks, do you think there will ever be a Vinesauce Con? Do you see this channel ever becoming that big?
Yes and no. It was pretty telling that when we were at Too Many Games, that Vinesauce had a pretty big presence. And I know we have a lot of fans that are really spread out across the world. Some of them might make the travel, but I think it will be a very small convention in its current form. You know, I don't have, like, my channel, my main channel has the most subscribers of all the Vinesauce stuff. And it's still only like 280,000, you know, compared to most of the bigger YouTubers who have in the millions. It's not that much. Yeah. So, I mean, maybe one day there is always a chance, but right now I don't think it's in the cards. I couldn't even get a panel at Comic-Con this year. So
really?
I don't think, I don't think it would happen anytime soon. It's a nice thought though.
Yeah. I mean, we have meetups every once in a great while. We had a Barcade meetup, and I know we've talked about doing a Vinesauce South meetup with me and Rev. That'd be pretty fun. Let's see. Have I ever tried Vegemite? ComJ asks. No, I have not. Maybe that'll be my next live review. I did a live review of Nutella, where I tried Nutella for the first time on stream, and gave it a strong 8 to a low 9. It was pretty excellent.
Yeah, wait until you try Vegemite. You're going to be hitting the 10s, my friend.
Yeah? Strong 10s? Yeah.
Strong 10s.
Let's see. Magnusk asks, what games for the PS1 do you like best? Can I guess yours?
Sure.
Croc.
No.
Sorry. I'm guessing your favorite for PlayStation 1 is Final Fantasy IX.
That's correct.
Yeah? Nice. Let's see how well you know me now, Vinny
Shinobi. Path of the Ninja.
Oh, you just know me so well.
I think your favorite is... I don't know, actually. I'm not really sure. I mean, it could be any number of things. Could be Resident Evil 2. Could be Silent Hill 2. Could be Metal Gear Solid, which I'm going to say is Metal Gear Solid, the original.
You got it. You really got it. I think Metal Gear Solid 1 was just super far ahead of its time. I've got some really, really close runner-ups, like actually Final Fantasy IX as well. Suikoden 2. Excellent, excellent RPG. Oddworld, Abe's Odyssey, and Abe's Exodus together. But yeah, I think Metal Gear Solid... There's nothing that's like as like masterful as Metal Gear Solid. That's the very first one. It just nailed it, I think. Yeah. So
yeah,
good.
If you had guessed Metal Gear Solid for me, I would have probably said that's my number 2.
Yeah.
So,
such a good game.
Yeah.
Let's see. Trying to find some interesting questions. What are your thoughts on the Smash Ballot ending? Asks Kickin' Wang. I mean, I haven't been keeping up with it, to be honest. Have you?
No, I haven't, but I don't think there was much to keep up on aside from speculation. I would hope that we get some more interesting and creative characters that aren't just sword-wielding fuckboys from the Fire Emblem series.
Yeah, I've kind of had enough.
As much as I want Chrono, like I would love Chrono for the game, or Frog.
What if they gave you Surge? How would you feel about that instead of?
I'd still be all right with Surge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be disappointed that I couldn't get.
If Surge, why not Chrono? And there's no way they would do Surge before Chrono. But like, let's just say, hypothetically, they decide to. Like, let's say all of the old white Japanese businessmen stockholders at Nintendo all had strokes, And
My
then
son?
they all decided to put Surge in Smash Bros.
That would be at least we got something from the Chrono universe, but god damn it, why not Chrono? Why not Frog?
Yeah.
You know. So yeah, it's just I don't know. But however, I would like, Shovel Knight is a nice option.
Yeah.
There's some cool thoughts that people have had. A Waluigi would be great in a way, just because he
Sure.
would probably be such a dumb, stupid, fun character.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah.
Who knows? I mean, there's some. I just hope we get more interesting choices and not just, another Street Fighter character or Fire Emblem. Yeah. So.
Here's a design question from King's Able Eye. Do you think roguelikes require procedural generation to be replayable, or do you have any examples that counter that? I think if you were to list all the things that define a roguelike, like procedural generation, permadeath, or not define, but are common of roguelikes, character, like a deep character creation, what else? Turn-based most often. Procedural generation is probably by far the most important one. You could take away any of those other elements and still have a really strong roguelike. The second you take away procedural generation and just have it a static game, it's just not roguelike anymore, really.
Right.
You know?
And then you could speedrun it, but it's not a roguelike.
Yeah. That's like the one requirement, pretty much. Like the one thing you must have for a game to be considered a roguelike, I think. I mean, I guess you could like recreate Rogue and just make it the same seed every time and say, it's like Rogue, it's a roguelike. But, yeah. Here, why don't you pick a question? I've been scrolling all up and down because I know some of them get swallowed, but...
Are either of you going to stream VR-related games once consumer models release over the next year? I already have an Oculus Rift. I'm not interested in streaming VR because you don't get the same experience.
Yeah.
And I don't really love VR in its current form. Maybe eventually I will.
Wait till you try Steam VR. You will be a believer. I promise. I know those are big words.
I believe you. I believe you. Right now, though, I can't. I've had an Oculus Rift. I've never streamed it.
Yeah.
So,
and this reminded me of a story I wanted to tell you earlier, and it got swallowed up in something. But we were talking about jump scares. Oh, yeah. We were talking about Slender, and you were talking about jump scares like they appear behind you when you're not looking. So I was playing a VR game using Steam VR. For those that don't know, Steam VR, the way it works is you put on the headset, you have a pair of like dildo controllers, and you can actually walk around the room. So like if you want to look under a desk in Steam VR, you actually get down and you look under it, you pick up things in the environment, you're really immersed in a space. So I was playing this new game that's going to come out for Steam VR called Fantastic Contraption. And in this game, there's this like cat that basically carries all of your tools. So if you want it's a building game, think like Besiege or something. If you want like a beam, the cat is holding two beams and you pick one up out of its paw. Or you can pull one of its whiskers, which turns into a needle to like delete some things in the world. The point is there's this cat. Okay. This fucking cat would sneak up on me. I swear, I would just be building my thing and I would turn around, like actually physically turn around because that's Steam VR. And the cat would be right there in my fucking face. And you don't understand jump scares because things appearing behind you until you're actually immersed in that space and it literally is behind you wherever you are. That's really weird.
it sounds weird. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah,
but
it was cool.
Are you when you're in this world? How long does it take you to realize that the cat is not real? Like how long are you fooled for? Or do you just buy it? You just buy it.
You pretty much are just, you buy it. Because let me put it this way. When you're building a machine, like in Fantastic Contraption, for instance, or if you're like doing something on a desk in the VR world, you will, just because the way your body is trained, you will be really careful not to bump into those things. Even though you know they're not real, even though you could clip through the entire fucking world, it's really uncomfortable to do so because it does that good of a job fooling you into thinking you're actually in that space, at least on a subconscious level. Like, I find myself, when I'm manipulating the machine I'm building in Fantastic Contraption, I found myself reaching around it to put something on the other side. And then I thought about it. I was like, wait, why the fuck am I doing that? I can literally just reach through it and put whatever it was I wanted on the other side. But because of it's so good at fooling you on that subconscious level, I actually found myself, without thinking, reaching around and being careful not to bump it. Really, really strange. That
how is this going to work in a consumer sense? How are like, do we
That's
have
a
to
good question.
like build our own VR rooms?
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like, that's the thing when you're calibrating the Steam VR, you can program into it like coffee tables or whatever else is in your room so that it's aware of those things and you can work around it. So that if you come close to bumping into those things inside the simulation, you'll see a wireframe kind of pop into view, or not pop, but fade into view. So it's like, hey, you're about to bump into the wall, jackass. But you're right. That's probably the biggest obstacle, as far as I could tell as an outsider who is associated with people who do VR. That's one of the two biggest obstacles. The first one is what you said, when you have to more or less devote a room to it. The other obstacle is that in order for it to be that immersive, you kind of have to consistently hit 60 frames per second at least. And in order to do that with the VR, you need to have a pretty nice computer, like really nice. It's not like, it's not like PlayStation VR, which I think just plugs into your PS4, and that's that. But that's also a lot more limited than the Steam VR, as far as I know. But Steam VR is awesome. Oculus, and I'm picky. Don't get me wrong, I am very picky. I did an Oculus once, and it wasn't good. Like, I just flat out said, like, this is just kind of garbage. Like, the frame rates were terrible. It kind of made me a little bit nauseous. It's pretty much just a screen glued to your face. And then I did Steam VR, and it was as if I was just in a new space, and it was crazy and just mind-blowing. It was awesome. And I wanted to talk about VR more in depth in another episode, like where we just spend, a half hour or so discussing what I've done with it and what you think it will be and all that stuff. So we don't have to continue talking about it. But I hope that answered the question.
Yeah, I'd say it answered the question, but also it raised some new insight. And that's kind of, I'm curious about Steam VR now, very much so. And I would love to try it. But I also, I'm kind of lazy. So if I'm playing video games, I wouldn't mind just strapping the goddamn thing to my head and just sitting down.
But you as can't long do as that with Steam VR though.
Yeah, I know. That's the difference.
But in the game, you'd literally just be sitting there. Like, the games are designed for you to be moving, but it's not like a Wii game where it's just a pain in the ass. It's like, it's thoughtfully designed, and it's so good at tracking you and your hand movements. Like, you can pick up, like, in this cooking game, you could literally pick up 3 eggs and juggle with the same accuracy that you have in real life.
Oh my god!
Like, that's how
crazy.
That's how precise and like high fidelity it is. It's nuts, totally nuts. But yeah, I know what you mean. But I don't think there'd be any games like that. I mean, I'm sure you could design a game like that. Like,
yeah,
where you have to lay down on the floor.
What they're doing. Well, that's what they're doing with the Oculus. It's just like sit there and use a controller and just let the thing take over your full field of vision. That's the kind of stuff that you get with Oculus. But there is one thing that I'll say, that two people are making an Enterprise, Star Trek Next Generation's Enterprise in VR, where you can put the Oculus on and explore almost the entire Enterprise in first-person VR. And that is cool. Like, that's something I would love. I would love to check that out. But I also, part of me feels like if I do that, it's just gonna, it's gonna make me sick again. So I don't know. But I'm just waiting for holodeck technology from the same show, from the Star Trek show. Once we get holodeck, I'm happy.
Let's see, Vinny, what is your option on the X-Bone since you won one?
I didn't I didn't win one. Someone sent it to me. Because
won one. O-N-E.
1-1.
Vinny, what is your option on the X-Bone since you won one?
All right, I'll answer the question based on how my brain translated that question. I am not impressed.
Really?
However, no, I'm not. I'm definitely not. I've played so few games on it. However, I do like it as a media device. I've watched movies on it. I've watched TV on it, and it has some nice UI features.
Uh-huh.
I just I haven't played Rare Replay yet, but it seems like the only enjoyment I've had from this machine are games that came out years ago that have been updated for it.
Yeah.
So, not impressed, but
Yeah.
whatever.
It's funny. I always make fun of like really butchered grammar and shit. And then like 9 out of 10 times the only reason is cuz English is not their first language.
Yeah.
And then I just feel like a total prick. Like 100% of the time I do this. I'm like, "Look, I'm being clever." And then that's what it turns out to be. I don't know if that's the case here. Probably is.
It might be.
So
yeah,
apologies.
I've done it too. It's nothing personal. I just enjoy fucked up words like cheap guns.
Yeah.
Like when someone was like, Vinny, like, because you can break guns in Metal Gear Solid, on the PC. You can make like really like broken guns. Have you seen that yet?
Right,
or no?
yeah, I've seen that. You can also swap the models of various people.
Yes. So I was calling them cheap guns during my stream, and someone in chat was like, Vinny, are you going to continue using cheap guns? CUNS. And since then, I can't stop saying cheap guns whenever I refer to broken weapons. So
that's good. Cheap guns.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, I like it too.
Let's see. So I'm gonna alter this question a little. Galfon asked about the Minecraft Telltale game. You've played Walking Dead Season 1, Season 2, and you've played Game of Thrones. Have you played Tales of the Borderlands yet? Or Tales from the Borderlands?
No.
A lot of people are saying that that's the best one other than Walking Dead. Or that it's super like solid and funny. I haven't played it yet. How do you feel about Minecraft?
I have less than no interest.
Yeah.
And I played a little Minecraft in my day, but I have less than no interest in this game, which is almost shockingly impossible to have, but that's how I feel. I don't think it's like Minecraft isn't about someone else's story, it's about your story. You play Minecraft and you use your imagination and you build. It's like Legos. So now you're going to give me blocky fuckboy characters with no facial expression that are just basically placeholders that Notch never got rid of.
Wow.
And now you're putting them in a story. I don't want it. I don't care. I just don't care. We don't need to Telltale everything. Like, let's
That's
just
true.
leave that. That's my
true.
opinion. I know it's going to piss people off, but, there it is.
UA, or U451 asks, Vinny, later on in your life, would you ever consider writing a book?
Yes. But I'd probably want to narrate it to a ghost author.
There you go. And you
No,
can
I
call
mean
it-
an actual, like, ghost.
You could call it the Jabroni's Guide.
To everything.
No,
How about you? Would you write a book?
Never mind, you didn't get it. I don't know. That's a good question. And probably not, because it just says it's such a huge undertaking, like massive, massive undertaking. I doubt it. I think it's one of those things that I'm interested in doing, but not actually interested in doing. You know what I mean? Like, it's interested in me being able to say, I wrote a book, but not something that sounds like fun to me, like tons and tons and tons of writing. I'm sure it'd be a great challenge and very like, what's the word I'm looking for? It'd be revitalizing in a way, I guess. There'd be a lot of great things to do, or there'd be a lot of great feelings as a result of the experience of writing a book, but it's not something I actually would want to sit down and do. It's just not part of my interests, I guess.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. And here's the thing. I have an English degree, and I don't mind writing in short bursts. I just really don't think I could handle a full book. So I'd probably want to do what a lot of people do, which is kind of narrate and have people, like someone write it down. If I ever, got to that point in my life where I could afford such a thing, or I had the time for such a thing. It sounds like, yeah, I've got some things that I would love to write about, but I just don't want to do it myself because I'm lazy as fuck. It is so hard to get me to do anything, let alone write a damn book. But yeah, it sounds like fun, but not while it's happening.
Yeah, cool. Let's
What's
see
the
what else we
sound?
got.
What's the sound? You ready?
Okay, I'm ready. Um, I imagine you standing up and pulling down your pants just a little bit into the mic and giving yourself a little sippity
No, no,
slap.
no, 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 no. I was smacking the skull on the head.
Oh, that's another word for that. Um, let's see. I'm gonna scroll up a bit and see what other questions we got. Here's a decent question. Monocap asks, have you ever vowed to never play a specific game or games from a specific company? Is there any reason as to why? Anything, Vinny? I swear that there's at least one game that I remember telling the stream, I will never play this game. But I can't think of what that was now, so it mustn't. My convictions must have not been that intense. So.
For a little while, it was Microsoft stuff. I vowed never to play never to get another Xbox, and then someone sent me one. So
Wow.
that happened. I don't know. Right now, I'm pretty upset with Konami, but
Yeah.
I mean, as in everyone.
Yeah. I would probably never play, and not because I refuse to play, but just I would never ever go out of my way to play H1Z1 or like any of those other like zombie like Daisy type things that have made it big one way or another. Fuck, I don't even, now I think about it, I barely know what H1Z1 is. That's just what I assume it was, that it was a zombie
Yeah,
game.
I'm sick of survival zombie genre. Like, Ark took it in a different direction. Rust took it in a slightly different direction. And even Reign of Kings, like these are different takes on that whole zombie survival thing, which I don't really think I want to play any more of. I'm
Yeah.
kind of just done with zombie games right now.
Yeah.
To be honest, the whole zombie thing kind of passed me by.
Fatium asks, this is for both of you. What are your thoughts on Jack White and the White Stripes? I think we've talked about this on the podcast before, but we can keep it short, I guess. Do you like Jack White and the White Stripes?
I like his music. I
Yeah.
don't like him.
Yeah.
He recently got into a fight with Pat Carney of the Black Keys, and they were both bitching about it. Pat Carney was bitching about it on Twitter, and Jack White issued like a bitch statement about it, and then the management got involved, and then they said, we're cool, we talked about it. It's like, just stop. Jack White has a problem with the Black Keys because they're more popular than he is now, and Meg White won't return his phone calls. So just stop being a bitch, Jack. I know life sucks. We all know.
Yep.
But he's still rich, he's still popular, and he still has a huge audience for whatever music he makes, and he's got his own record store. I think he should be a little bit more, like stop attacking the goddamn Black Keys. Otherwise, yeah, his music is fine.
Good. Let's see what else we got. Oh, I'm gonna scroll up. Do I have any ongoing? This is from Bachuga. Do I have any ongoing music like Vinny has? You should link to it if you have and if you want. Yeah, I write some music that's like kind of like video gamey music, like stuff made on like a DAW, just digital electronic stuff, like not like rock music like Vinny has. Although I've written rock songs because I've been in a number of bands. But all that I've been doing musically lately is this stuff. I have a SoundCloud. I upload like 1 in every 10 songs I make to it, which I should upload like everything I do. Oh, did I spell sound? I wrote SoundCloud. Let me just try that again.
It still works.
Does it?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. That's kind of funny. Well, there you go. So there's that. But yeah, that's pretty much what I do musically.
Yeah, it's good too. I've heard a lot of KY's music, and I think it's really, really good. I think there's a lot of potential for this stuff to be in video games.
Oh, thanks.
So that's I'm not bullshitting. I think that's a skill. That's a tough thing to do, to make music that sounds like it belongs in a game without making it sound like you're trying too hard.
Right.
So anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't you pick a question?
What things have you taken from the chat that affected your real life? I don't know what that means.
Things.
Can you rephrase that? Maybe we'll answer it.
Because it sounds like it could be a good question. Like
Yeah.
memes? Like what memes have I taken from the chat?
Do you think Fallout 4 should have a more refined graphical engine, graphic style, graphic wise, than the release date for 2016? I think it looks fine. I think it'll look good on Ultra, in motion, 60 frames a second.
It'll look as good as
And
I
think-
need it to look, you know? Or at least maybe I'm
Yeah,
just not as picky as other people, but
I don't listen. I want variety in my graphics. Like, I'm happy that the game isn't just brown.
yeah.
So
Yeah. And I think it's also less about detailed graphics and more about a unified art style, which is kind of what Fallout's all about too. It's never been about like hyper realism. Like it's realistic enough that you can get immersed in it, but it's also more about the art choices. Like making like this whole like the bobblehead guy and that whole like nuclear bomb shelter instructional video aesthetic, you know. But translating that to an actual world built around that aesthetic. It's about that unified art style. And from what I saw from Fallout 4, it looked good enough for me. I don't know. Like, it didn't blow me away. But I wasn't sitting there thinking I was unhappy with any of it, except for maybe the dog. Dog kind of looked like shit. But
yeah, the dog does look a little bit like crap.
yeah, especially the animations in the dog. But the thing is, like, you see the animations of D-Dog in Metal Gear Solid 5 and then the animations of the dog in Fallout 4, and holy shit, is it a world of difference. That dog, it looks like poop. So,
Yeah.
but other than that, that's how I feel.
Someone has been asking, few people, why won't you play Ark with Mike? Few quick, legit reasons. Because I actually want to get stuff done. Right? Because Rust, I got very addicted to. And I noticed when I was playing Rust, my productivity was low. Like, I'm trying to organize things in my life a bit more. You know, I'm working on music, I'm in the studio. And on top of all that, I still want to stream, you know, and put on a variety of different streams. I feel like if I play Ark and get addicted to Ark, which could happen, then it'll be hard for me to want to do anything else. And for a while, I didn't own Ark. Now I own it just because someone from my YouTube network gave me a copy of it. But here's the thing. I haven't installed it. It looks great. I just don't want to lower this productivity. You know, I try to work on a little something every day. Lyrics, music, or I clean, or I go, you know, to the beach and take a walk. I can't do that anymore. So if I exercise, I gotta exercise at home now. But yeah, that's why I don't really like to play games like Witcher 3, because, you know, it takes up so much of my time. And even Phantom Pain, as much as I love it, and yes, I'm streaming it, I found myself playing 3 or 4 hours of side missions a night,
Yeah.
just playing Phantom Pain.
It's no joke.
Sometimes games really rope me in, and I don't know if I want them to.
Yeah.
So
It's weird, too, because Metal Gear has kind of historically been on the shorter side. Or at least they feel like they are. Like, they never go more than 15 hours at most.
yeah,
So to have the Phantom Pain be like 35 hours on average, at least, like if you're doing more than just the story, then like 50, 60 hours. It's pretty nuts. We'll take like one or two more, I guess, because did you want to do any Greenlight Guess? It's kind of short this time. The guesses weren't that good. Even on both sides, the reals and the fakes, they're just kind of slim pickings.
it's your call. Your
Sure.
call.
We'll take-
We could save it. We could do it. It's your call.
Yeah, I mean, someone asked if we're going to do all of our episodes live in the future, and I think we've been over this, but I don't think either of us are interested in making this a perpetually live thing. We like having just conversations off stream, not having to manage a chat, just being able to chill out and talk about games and just publishing it for people to check out later, you know? Mm-hmm. Is that how you feel?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like...
the live is fun, though. It's just, an occasional thing. Because we already do live streaming.
Yeah.
And it's nice to have a little something that we can just not do live every now and then. But I know we want to get a few more guests. There's, I mentioned yesterday, there's a special guest that I'm working on getting for the podcast.
Or at least I've talked about it on my stream. I don't think we ever talked about it on the actual podcast.
Well, I don't want to, here's the thing. I don't want to get hopes up if it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
But I definitely feel like I'm looking into some people that I would love to talk to. And Mecha Gamezilla, I think, would be a nice guest, too.
Yeah, totally. Absolutely. Yeah. Shit, what was I going to say?
Sorry.
Oh,
I interrupted.
I remember. Maybe we can do a thing where like every uh fifth episode is a live one or something. I don't know. Just something
That could
that
be cool.
struck me. Maybe, I don't know. We're very off the cuff. Yeah, if you haven't noticed, like in regards to our schedule and when we do what and get guests on and do events, it's just very much whatever we feel like doing. We don't plan this shit out in advance, hardly. Like
Yeah.
every episode starts with me calling Vinny and saying, "What do you want to talk about this time?" And he says, "I
Right.
don't know," and then we start.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Um. Are you gonna play the Battlefront open beta? Did you play Star Wars Battlefront when you were growing up at all?
Yeah, I did. I played Battlefront 2. I did a few streams of Battlefront 2. I would love to try it. I think yeah, I think I would give it a shot. I think
Yeah.
I would give it a shot.
Yeah, same. I only played a handful. I've only played Battlefront 2 a handful of times when I was younger, and I always enjoyed it, but I didn't get into it super hard like a lot of people did. So, do we shout out memes in real life? Ace Crab asks.
I don't know that I shout out memes too much on the stream. Usually,
I'm sorry.
sometimes. Yeah, I know. Well, Rick is Rick a meme now? Oh, jeez.
Yeah, Reddit and Mimi. That's the show.
Oh. Yeah, I guess there are times where I'll think of something like John Cena because it's just the what makes something mimetic is when it just pops into your head for no reason, and some people just love that. But I've been actively trying to get that to stop for me, and I can tell you there are some things that pop into my head throughout the day. But yeah, mostly memes are just a transient kind of thing, man. You know, you let them come and go like the breeze.
Yep.
Bro.
Yeah, come and go with the tides, the meme tides
bro.
from the meme ocean,
from the memes,
the,
bro.
Influenced by the meme lunar cycle.
The meme cycle, bro.
All right, one more. This is from Hermes is Dead. Is there an older genre or gameplay style that you miss that you'd like to see adapted in games today?
Real-time strategy is pretty much limited to StarCraft at the moment.
Yeah, that's
but
a
that
good
was
one.
a fun genre.
I mean, there's still a lot of RTS out there. It's just kind of all the same. Like, I feel there could be a fresh breath RTS, you know, like something that just like kind of looks at the problems behind RTSs and kind of gives it an overhaul.
I would like that.
Yeah.
I would very much like that.
Here's one I've been thinking about. There's a game called Point Blank that was in the arcades a while back. It was a light gun game, and it was very unique for a light gun game. It was kind of like WarioWare in that it would present you a whole bunch of different scenarios, and then it would rank you on that scenario, and it was very like wacky but fun. Like there'd be an endurance one where you have to like shoot it, like like the Street Fighter car that you got to beat up. You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Except with a light gun, you got to shoot it until it explodes or something. And then like maybe they would do an accuracy sniping mini game, and then there'd be one where bombs fall from the sky and you got to get them. Like a whole bunch of different things that I would throw at you, and it was really, really, really fun. And I wish there was something like that. Since then, you know, I feel like there's potential. There was potential in what they were doing aside from all the other bullshit light gun games that were out. I loved Point Blank, and I would love to see that revitalized.
Yeah, those were fun. Like light gun games were pretty cool. I think with the Oculus and various other VR, I think we'll see a resurgence in shooty type bang bang games.
Yeah, there's
Where
one already out called Bullet Train.
Yeah,
or not
Bullet
already
Train.
out, but you know, it's been,
being worked on.
Yeah. Okay, that's good for now. I mean, sorry we missed a lot of questions, but that's kind of the nature of the beast.
Hey, I drew something on my icebreakers box while we were talking, and I'm gonna send it to you. Check it out.
Oh fuck! What is this? What?
It's like a little face.
Huh? That I've seen this face before.
It'll protect you from ghosts.
I've seen this face when I sleep. Like, I'll wake up at night with an image of this face in my head, like out of really like a crazy nightmarish dreams. I
Mm-hmm.
wake up and this is always the last face that's fresh on my mind. How did you get
Goliath.
this face?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I just kind of like invade people's dreams and subconscious and eat their testicles, ethereally.
Oh my god. That makes me so uncomfortable.
You're welcome.
Okay. All right. Everything will be okay. All right.
So what
you
next?
Greenlight Guess.
Okay.
Okay. So, Greenlight Guess, I'm going to describe a game to Vinny, like the synopsis as listed on its Steam page, and it may or may not be a real game that you can find on Steam's Greenlight service. Either it's real and just like unthinkable, or it's something fake that one of you guys made up. And Vinny does not know one from the other, and he needs to guess if it's real or fake.
Yep.
Just a little fun segment we do. You ready?
Yeah.
Oh, hang on, let me get my RNG so it's as unbiased as possible. One moment. Okay. All right, first one. Participate in a competition that will decide the fate of the world. Make memes to please the gods. Meme Universe 20XX.
The sad thing that it is that I actually have to question whether or not this is real.
Yep.
Do you know that's how sad this is? because that's the world we live in now. I'm gonna say it's fake,
That is fake. Good job. You're 1 for 1.
but it could easily be real. Look, even the chat, they're saying it's
yeah,
real.
a lot of people thought it was real. There are some meme games. If you search Greenlight, that was fake. That was submitted by Giboni Josh or Giboni Josh on Twitter. That was fake.
Jabroni Josh, okay.
Giboni, G-I Boni Josh. By the way, I'm not going to keep score. I'm terrible at keeping scores. So if you guys want in chat, you can keep score. Let us know
Yeah,
our
that's
percentage at the end, or percentage of success. All right, next one. Let's see. You are Spid. It was Steve. Now it's Spid. A little bird. You must find the key and reach the exit. Yeah, very exciting.
Oh man, I developed some kind of testicular torsion from listening to that one. It's real.
That is real. Good job. You're 2 for 2, my friend. 2 for 2. That game is called Spid the Bird. Let me link you, and I'll link it in chat. Spid the Bird. It was Steve, and you'll see in the screenshot for the Steam page that it was actually, that says it. You see Steve the Bird, like, in the game.
It does.
And Speed or Spid.
Spid the bird. East le descendant d'une race de super or something like that. I'm pronouncing French like Spanish. Well done. And of
And
course, when you scroll down, it's just like Doge meme.
Yeah, it's
In the
pretty
comments.
terrible. Hang on, I'm juggling my windows so I can show this shit in chat when I want to. Actually, no, that's too much window juggling. Not gonna do it. So yeah, I linked in chat if you want to see it for yourself. All right, you ready for another one? So you're 2 for 2. Good job. You play a diabetic mailman in his quest to neuter all Dalmatian puppies, so they stop prank calling his bakery.
How did dogs prank call a bakery? Come on. That's fake.
You sure?
Oh, god damn it. Don't say stuff like that. Final answer is that it's real. No, fake. Fake.
That is fake. You're right. 3 for 3. Nice job. That was submitted by Great Keith. It's a little bit too random, you know? I think that gave it away.
No, it almost sounds like it could have been real, to be honest. But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, someone said I'm spoiling it by posting the link because of the delay, but just remember, Vinny's not on a delay, so it's not spoiling it for him.
Yeah, I don't. Trust me, guys. It's not spoiling it for me. We're 30 seconds in the future, in the past, or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Next one. Could he have become an odd, partially turned vampire? Now, many girls are entering his life from many directions and complicating the situation. To make matters worse, he is plagued from an overwhelming impulse to suck their blood.
Is it written like that?
Yes, with like a whole bunch of dots.
Yeah, there's dots. Hey, I'm gonna say that that's real though,
Why?
because it sounds like the tagline of a stupid game.
You're absolutely right. That is real. What's that? 4 for 4 now?
Yeah.
Name of the game is Libra of the Vampire Princess. I'm about to post it in chat, so you can click on it.
That definitely sounds like someone trying to be clever, like suck ... your blood.
It's a hyper ugu game. What else was I? Oh, I like the line. Now many girls are entering his life from many directions and complicating the situation. It's like those pesky girls always complicating things.
And then you look at the game. Yeah, it's just extreme animus
with like the Japanese like cock rock theme song going on, and it's just nuts.
This is animu to the highest degree.
It really is. All right. You are goddamn tired of all these immigrants. How many can you kill in this top-down shooter, Trump Simulator 2016?
Oh no, that one's hard because someone could be capitalizing on this Trump thing to make some money.
Yeah, if you'll remember, there was that game, the Bush Simulator, from the last, or a couple of Greenlight Guesses ago, that was real. That one was real. It was like you had to plan 9/11 and you had to see if your wife was cheating on you and shit.
Holy shit. Oh man. I'm gonna say Trump Simulator is fake, however. It's my guess. Final answer.
It is fake. You're right. You've gotten 100% so far today. Good job. Very nice. That was
Feels
submitted.
Good, man.
Yeah, that was submitted by Cold Beaverage on Twitter. Yeah, I'd play it.
Could have been real.
Wait, no, I wouldn't play it. Why did I just say that? Next one. How to play a game that doesn't want to be played. Calendula's mechanics are entirely focused on the struggle of trying to start a game, exploring the limits of the fourth wall and breaking with conventions. To follow Calendula's path, the player will have to use his wit and think outside the box. In this case, a tiny, oppressive box.
Oh my god. Jesus. That is... I'm gonna say that one is fake.
You want me to read it again?
Yeah, please. That one's tough. That's a tough one.
How to play a game that doesn't want to be played. Calendula's mechanics are entirely focused on the struggle of trying to start a game, exploring the limits of the fourth wall, and breaking with conventions. To follow Calendula's path, the player will have to use his wit and think outside the box. In this case, a tiny, oppressive box.
Jesus fucking Christ. That sounds so fucking pretentious and stupid. It's real. Never doubt human stupidity. It's real.
That is real. Nice job, Vinny. Still 100%. Let me link you.
I gotta see this.
Yep. I'm linking it in chat.
Medulla Oblongata's adventure.
Calendula. Look at it. It's got like an animated GIF for its icon and looks pretty intense. Could be all right, maybe. Spooky sounds. Hang on, I gotta turn on my little warning thing. Where the fuck did that go?
Spoop warning.
Spoop
Incoming.
Warning. There it is. And the whole thing is about starting the game, so it like garbles the language of the title screen and shit. I don't know. Kind of looks crappy, actually.
Yeah, it does look crappy, and then when you get halfway through the trailer, there's like a 3D movement. Like it looks like you're moving through a 3D space. I don't really know.
Oh yeah. I see that. Where like the screen is going off center and shit.
Also, if you scroll down, the text is glitched.
It is?
Yeah.
Hang on, I'm going to show some of this trailer.
It actually is the coolest part of this is that the text in the description on Greenlight is glitched.
Oh, that is awesome.
I mean, it's just GIFs, but it works really well. It's a good effect.
Yeah. No, that's cool. I mean, just kind of looks like a bad game. I like that it looks like you can actually start it at some point, or like, you know, you get into a world at some point at least. That doesn't look awful. I would probably play that just to see.
I would give it a shot. Yeah, just to see what it's all about.
Could be worse. Could easily be worse. All right, next one. Unknown virus infects 87% of all living forms. The planet becomes lifeless. You are one of the endangered species, human. You must do some really mad things to survive, from eating of raw meat to betrayal and even cannibalism. There is no mercy in this cruel world. Humanity is wild and degraded.
Doesn't sound too far off from something that could be real. I'm gonna say that one's real. I'm gonna say it's real because it sounds like a real game, like cannibalism and stuff. Doesn't sound too random to be fake, but I'm not sure.
That is real. Good job.
Yes.
The game is called In Depth, and one of my favorite parts, it was subtle, and I liked this about it. The description contradicts itself almost immediately. It says, unknown virus infects 87% of all living forms, not all of them. Next sentence. The planet becomes lifeless. No one survives. The planet is totally lifeless. And then, third sentence, you are one of the endangered species, human. Like, just that huge contradiction is nuts. Yeah. Let me link it in chat. It's called In Depth. And here's what it looks like so you guys can see. Play the trailer a little bit.
The trailer doesn't look like as bad as some of the shit I've seen on Greenlight. However, it looks boring, and you shoot zombies. It's like all of that boiled down to shooting zombies, of course.
I don't know, looks kind of pixely and shit to me.
All pixels are shit, haven't you heard?
I guess it looks okay. In depth. I just hate that description.
Most Def. Soundtrack by Most Def.
And you know, there's a game that's coming out that this kind of reminds me of, other than like all the other games it's based on, called what's it called? Noct, I think, N-O-C-T. But I gotta send you that game because that looks awesome. Like, it's like this but with a unique art style and much more functional. I don't know. Noct. I'll just send it to you. Looking at the comments now, looks very interesting. I think that if the game lives up to the trailer, it will do well. If it isn't free, the price will definitely make or break the game. The end of the trailer confused me a bit. Someone pondered deeply on that trailer.
Yeah. I don't know, it's pretty good, not as good as Spid.
Spid. What used to be Steve. Oh, apparently GPM streamed Noct. I didn't realize that. That's awesome. Yeah, that game looks good. Alright, another Greenlight Guess. Green cube in dangerous place. It doesn't sound so dangerous, but the reality is different. This is motto of Training Cube. You must help little green cube to get out of this strange world. Explore new levels, get score, jump and move with perfect precision. Your mission is simple. Jump or fall.
Oh, God, why are these games real? Why does this have to exist? That's my answer, too.
It's real?
I think it's real. Yeah, I think it's real.
That is real.
I'll tell you why. Let me give you my reasoning.
Okay, yeah,
okay.
You're totally
real,
right.
My reasoning is that does not... I've seen games like that.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't sound like something out of the realm of possibility at all.
See,
in my travels, playing shitty games, that kind of thing is just common. So,
see, to me, I would have guessed fake. If this were presented to me and I didn't know one way or the other, I probably would have guessed fake because it reminds me so much of like the Fantastic game and like the egg-like genre. You know, like green cube must explore world, get score. You know, but I just linked it in chat. It's called Training Cube. It's got the shittiest music ever. See, if I could come up with a million examples of Unity done well, this is the cream of the crop of Unity done poorly. Like the low barrier to entry with Unity enables people to make a game like this.
Oof, the music is awful.
It's jarring. It's so
That
bad.
is some of the worst music I've heard in one of these trailers.
It is horrible.
Oh.
And I like how the first gameplay clip is almost identical to the second gameplay clip. Like it shows some gameplay, then it says thing about game, and then it shows some more gameplay, and it's exactly the same. They didn't even bother finding like a different level.
Yeah. And then it shows you new blocks, and it's just one new block.
Yeah.
And the new block just goes
that
into the
moves.
wall. That's all that it is. Yeah. Yeah. This is Unity's fault, but it's it's not Unity's fault that it's easy to develop for. Well, not easy, but easier. Like you said, the low skill ceiling.
Yeah.
For starting to develop with Unity, people are going to make stuff like this. This is like someone's first game, or you would hope it would be.
Yeah.
But except now with Greenlight, you can actually sell your first game and not just keep it hidden away. Oh my God, could you imagine how many first games are like hidden away on people's hard drives
Yeah.
that it will never see? Just cream of the crap.
Cream of the crap. Yeah. I'm making one right now, so it's on my hard drive. And that's kind of what the beginner's guide gets into. Since we were talking beginner's guide earlier, it's about those games because the Coda guy didn't show his games to anyone. They were just games on his computer that he made and shared with Davey. So,
Who's in the Navy and probably will be for life.
Maybe Gray.
Da 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 da.
All right, next one. Synoptis. On the 10th of May, 2003, a few weeks ago from now, you have lost contact with a military complex.
I don't know what is the what? What? Synoptis is the name of it? Synoptis.
I think it was just a misspelling of the word synopsis.
I almost vomited in my mouth thinking that was the name of the game. I don't know, man. I don't know. Could you read it one more time for me?
Sure. Synoptis. On the 10th of May 2003, a few weeks ago from now, you have lost contact with a military complex.
Hang on. Oh, this is I can't do this one, man. I can't do this one. So I'm gonna flip a coin. I can't guess. It could go either way. So heads.
Yeah.
It's heads. It's fake. Heads.
This
fake.
Okay. This one's real.
No.
But I don't have the Greenlight page anymore. It's been taken down, so I can't prove it's real. I actually didn't mean to include it in the list because of that, and I accidentally left it on my dock. So I just started reading it, and then halfway through, I was like, oh shit, I meant to take this one out. Supposedly it was real at some point. I couldn't find a trace of it. So maybe we shouldn't count this one against your perfect record so far. How you feel about
Okay. Yeah,
Right.
I flipped a coin because there's no information for that.
Yeah. It
There's
was
no
posted
like,
on my source for real games. And then when I went Googling, I couldn't find it. I found all the rest. So that one
But
we
you,
won't
like-
count it. I
but
just
the
like the
thing is-
description.
There's not even any like when you read that, I thought like, this is a game? Like it doesn't
Yeah.
it doesn't tell. It's like the beginning of a story that never goes anywhere.
Yeah.
But
it was-
anyway,
Yeah. I just love a few weeks ago from now.
yeah, a few weeks ago from now.
Yeah.
What the fuck does that even mean? I don't know. All right.
I love it. All right. So that one didn't count. You're still at 100%. But I
For
liked
now.
it a lot to include it. All right. Paper Trail is a classic point-and-click adventure game where you play as Carl Hines, an undercover tax collector whose job is to track down tax dodgers, expose shady colleagues, and conduct tricky audits. Things turn for the worse, however, when you are so caught up in your work that you forgot to apply your own taxes on time. Can you use the skills that you've learned from the people you ruined to avoid the system, or will you spend the rest of your life in federal prison?
Oh my god. So someone makes a game about the worst thing that we have to do every year, taxes. That sounds it shouldn't be real. Knowing my luck, it probably will be, but I'm going to say fake.
Are you sure?
No, it's real.
Are you sure?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not
I was just say I'm waiting for that final answer before I tell you because you don't sound so sure.
It's real. Final answer.
It's fake. I'm sorry, my friend. You
No!
were right on your gut instinct was right when you said fake, and then I had to be a dick and be Regis Philpin and be like, "Are you sure?"
Are you
that is
sure,
fake.
baby?
It was submitted by Cave, Monkey, Nick, and Qualqua. It was a joint effort.
Yep.
Yep. So you're
Well, you
perfect.
fooled me. You
Yeah.
got me.
You're at like 91% or so. I haven't been
Yeah, it
keeping
sucks.
track exactly,
That's all right.
but this has been you've been on point today. This is the best one yet for you. For you. Let's see. Okay. Escape is turn-based puzzle game in which the player will be a snack that escapes from snakes. And Escape, just for so you can get a mental image, is spelled SNAK capital ESCAPE. So it's like
Is there a
snake,
space
but
between the two
snack.
words?
No. Escape.
Snuck escape.
You want me to read it again?
No. I think that's real.
Escape is real. You're right. It's a turn-based puzzle game in which the player will be a snack that escapes from snakes. Go figure. Let me link. I'm gonna link in
Who
chat.
would have thought? Who would
Yeah.
have thought?
Yeah, who would have thought? And I'll show it to the stream. It looks pretty alright, I gotta say. Like, at least as from a game design standpoint, it's doable. It's just like the stupid Ugu eyes on the apple. And, like, something about the aesthetics just are so dumb. Even though it could be an okay game. You know?
Yeah, it's Snuck Escape doesn't look as bad as many of the other games. Yeah, I'm not sure I would ever want to play something like this. But I mean, I'm looking at the gameplay. It doesn't look terrible. It almost looks like a puzzler
Yeah.
mixed with like Super Monkey Ball kind of feel to it. But it's just the dumb snakes and apples.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I would play
fine.
Calendula before I'd play Escape. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you could force me to play Snuck Escape if like someone was really like if the developer of this was like having a bad day and they were like, Vin, if you play my game, it'll make me feel better. I would play
You
it for
would,
10
yeah.
minutes.
Yeah, totally. All right, got a few more for you. Adventure Lamp is a game about losing your hat.
That's it.
Yeah, I'm not going to
Fake.
give you much on that one. That
Fake.
is real. I'm sorry. That is a real game. I'm going to link in chat. It's
Fuck.
called Adventure Lamp. And it's a game about losing your hat. Hang on one sec. There we go. This is Adventure Lamp, says the trailer. A game about losing your hat. They really stress that. It's important that you understand.
Yeah.
I think it's because the hat is a lamp hat, so like when it says adventure lamp, you think like you're like a lamp in a room or something, which makes it sound extra dumb.
I'm looking at the trailer. I don't know what I'm really supposed to get from this.
Yeah, it's so confusing, like how you're supposed to use this lamp. I mean, it
As
looks
a
like it could
weapon?
be all right.
You use it as a weapon. You use it as you throw it. You use it as light. I don't know what else, but there are other things. It has its own physics, and you just lose your hat. That's the game so far.
Yeah, I mean, it's better
Alright.
production values than shit. What was that first one? Speed or Spid,
Spit.
or the game formerly known as Steve.
Yo, this
This
game
looks
is
a lot
coming to
better
the Wii
than
U.
that.
Losing your hat is coming to the Wii U.
Sweet. That's just what I wanted. Yeah, I mean, that doesn't look too bad. I don't think it does. Maybe
No.
I just like those types of games more than
It's a
other
little
people.
confusing, but
Yeah.
it looks semi.
They need a
playable.
better hook description thing.
Yeah,
the whole Adventure Lamp, a game about losing your hat,
that doesn't work for me.
doesn't do it for me. Like the trailer did it for me more than that stupid description.
Yep.
Yep. All right.
So, are we close to finishing?
Yeah, last one.
Okay.
Yeah, because this has been going on a long time.
Yeah,
So-
it's a long fucking stream.
I'm worried about hosting for this month if I can even get a second episode in with how long this one's been. But we'll see.
Jeez.
All right. Imagine Slippy, but more bogey on your tail.
The fuck is that? No, that's fake.
That is fake. Good job. That was from the Meeson man. So,
Okay.
however many we did, you got all but 2 of them, I think, right?
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Not too
Probably a
bad.
good 80-90% success rate. I told you they were a little slim pickings this time around.
Yeah. I just I like them, but imagine Slippy but more bogey on your tail. Like
That's
is just-
edited too. That I had to edit it to make it less obvious. It originally said, "Imagine Slippy but more bogey on your tail," featuring John Cena.
Of course.
And so I did not put that in.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
guys, if you want the highest quality, most well-crafted fake Greenlight descriptions to fool Vinny, you say, I could fool him better than these shitty ones. What you need to do is go on Twitter and use hashtag Greenlight Guess, all one word. I'll put it in chat so you understand. Hashtag Greenlight Guess. You don't need to tweet at anyone. Just hashtag at Greenlight Guess, or hashtag Greenlight Guess. A fake description. I'll find the real ones. You do the fake ones. Try to fool Vinny. Try to play off the fake tropes, but don't ham it up too much. Try to think outside the box. Maybe things that no one would ever think of unless it was an actual real game. Yeah, submit them.
Always be sure to include John Cena, because if you do that, then I won't know the difference between.
I
real
will
and
take it
fake.
out. I'll take it out immediately. Like we
Okay.
got like 3 or so fake ones involving John Cena, to the point where I
Wow.
actually tweeted, "Stop including John Cena."
I
It's-
can't believe John Cena has become such this fucking massive presence
Yeah.
these days. Like it just happened, and now everyone's talking about Cena. Everyone's got the Cena fever.
I think that's good for this episode. It was fun. We'll talk about more spoopy stuff next one, because presumably it will still be October, but who knows with our track record. So might not be till
Yeah.
November. We'll try to get one before October's out.
Yeah, yeah, and there's a special guest. Like I said, there's definitely some. We're not sure exactly how it's going to go with or other special guests, because in some ways you might have to work on their schedule.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, it could be soon. It could be less than soon. But we'll try to we'll slip one in whenever
Yeah.
we can.
Oh, I'm banning you. Nope.
You got him just before he could type John Cena.
Perfect. Awesome.
Someone in the chat, guys, for anyone who's listening only, someone in the chat in all caps, and this is one sentence, one word per line, and his name is, and just before he could type John Cena, like it was like a fraction of the second, KY deleted it.
And it
So
was
good.
totally interrupted, just like combo breaker. Oh my god.
Yeah, just totally broken. It's so good.
He was so
good.
close to summoning the Cena apocalypse, and did not did not complete the ritual this time. Maybe next
Yeah.
time. All right, guys, it's been fun.
I could give, before I go, I just want to say
Sure.
I
Yeah.
would be happy if I never heard John Cena's theme ever again.
Yeah,
Ever. You know what I mean?
yeah. No joke. Oh fucking hell! God damn it, Vinny. God fucking damn it.
Sorry. I'm so sorry. All right. Let's just pretend that didn't happen. I've been Cena bammed from the
Yep.
stream.
Maybe we'll do listeners' mail next time too. So email your questions or whatever you want me to touch on to onthevinecast@gmail.com.
At gmail.com.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, that's the number 2.
Oh, letter
2.
two.
The number 2 on the Vinecast at
Yeah.
gmail.com. Just 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. This is KY,
And my name is Vinny.
and we'll see you next time. Have a good one.
See ya.